Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth. You have to go back to the roots. Go to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to today's edition of the Afridamus Report. I hope your Sunday is going well. As you can see, I am dressed in my Sunday clothes. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I've ever told you this story where, so I went to Catholic school, right? Catholic school, but that doesn't mean I was Catholic. I told you I went to madrasa as well, learning the Quran. So I was just there to learn about things. But I also enjoy going to the church to listen to because you see, communication is in different ways. So in the Catholic Church, they like to sing in slow motion. How is everything going? Amen. But I witnessed how a conversation transpired between the father while he was in sermon, how he communicated with his cook. I'm going to decipher this because you see, I was there. I was curious. I wanted to know what is being said. I'm not like intoxicated with how they are dragging the words. No, I want to know what these words mean. So I saw it for myself, right? So they were having a great cookout that day. I want you to listen. I don't want these words to fly over your head because you have to capture things. So they killed a sheep for barbecue. So while they are skinning it, doing all that, it was time for mass. And the father was already conducting it, doing his thing. So, but he didn't have the opportunity to discuss with the cook how he would want this meat prepared. He didn't have the opportunity. And this father is very particular about how he likes his meat cooked. And the cook wants to keep his job because the fathers, they are like the gods in the Catholic thing. So I'm sitting there and I saw him. He comes. The cook said he didn't know how to disrupt the father. The father saw him, but they cannot talk about meat in a regular tone. I want you to pay attention to the conversation I heard. Because some people, it went over their head, they didn't understand. I'm looking at the cook is standing there. He said, Father, I have sinned. And the father stopped. He said, Amen. Son, what is your sin? Father, how would you like the meat prepared? The father said he's going to pray for this man because to you, that's sitting there who's intoxicated, you think this man is saying he's sinning for real, but he's communicating to the father without disrupting people. And he said, Son, what is your sin? He said, how would you like the meat prepared? The father said, cook some, fry some, and cook some in the fridge. Amen. All those people said, Amen. They didn't hear any of it, but the cook knew what happened. The cook knew what was communicated, and I knew what was communicated. So today, I'm going to bring a man, the conservative one. He is the black expert. His favorite topics is about the blacks. But we would talk about Ukraine. We would talk about Jussie Smollett. You guys remember I told you guys, no such thing as racism, sexism, Islamophobism, deadbeat daddyism. When I heard a man that said this before, it lit up a light in me because I said, this man is brilliant. He sees through the things like I see through it. And now you guys know over there in Russia, right? For years, they were telling us Putin is the problem, the Russian hoax. But now we are finding out Hillary Clinton was behind all that. It was all fabricated, right? I'm just giving you a little synopsis. I don't want to pretend like I know what is going on over there. None of us know. They are not telling us. They are not telling us. But from what we know from history, we will talk about that. Okay? We will talk about, because you see, the news, they are not telling us. But one thing we know for sure, the people that are involved telling you, oh, you should hate Russia. Oh, Russia is invading Iraq. How is that different? Russia is invading Ukraine. How is that different from when they told you there was WMDs in Iraq? You supported it. They went there, they bombed them. They're like, oops, there's none. We just want their oil. Now the same people are coming there, same people that told you, let's bomb Gaddafi. Remember that? But even you, the Pan-African, they told you, you have to fly the flag of the separatists, the people that want to destroy that country. Because you see, countries cannot serve everyone's interest, but the majority's interest has to be protected. But some of you are so selfish. You didn't see through it. But I don't blame you. I'm not blaming you because you know why? They lied to you. They lied to you. I'm not here to try to convince you of what the truth is, but I want to lay it out to you. I want you to think about what we are going to discuss here. It's the same people. Imagine, right? Let's be honest and look at the world, how it's ran. There are some people who gave themselves the moral high ground on who can or cannot invade who. But we are learning something here. First, they said it was racism. That's where Jussie Smollett come into play. I know some of you are saying, oh, Afridamus doesn't know how to pronounce it. No, you guys don't understand. This is Hollywood versus the internet. And the internet wins every time because you see, we don't write the script. In the internet, your critics, your haters are allowed to give their 2 cents. This is what Jussie Smollett did not understand. And another thing, what I hope for you to learn from, learn to separate yourself from your job. Learn to understand the difference between reading a script versus real life. So Jussie Smollett, when they make it to Hollywood, they would change their name. You would see people even make fun of their original name, i.e. Whoopi Goldberg. They make fun of Karen. You know her real name is Karen? She changed her name to Whoopi Goldberg, pretending to be, you guys know who. The same thing that he pretended to be, it was the same thing that took her off the air. You guys remember I told you the world is going to change. The truth shall set you free. Only the truth shall set you free, ladies and gentlemen. So the woke mob are taking big losses. People tell us America is racist. America is so racist, people cannot find race, quote unquote racism. They have to fabricate it. That's what Jussie Smollett. It spells Smollett. I get it. But in Hollywood, that's how they say Smollett. Because when you got so much money, why pronounce things the way they are spelled? Just create your own way of saying it. Why not? You got the money, you got the fame. So Smollett for you Hollywood people, and Smollett for us, the little people on the streets. Okay? So this man came out. From the get-go, I questioned it. I knew it was a lie. Many of you swallowed the lie. So this man said, in a blizzard, a Chicago blizzard. Do you know how cold that is? That's like Russia cold. You are out there. Look, it's so cold. It turns homeless people who don't have blankets into icicles. You guys know this? Super cool. But Mr. Smollett read a script. The script is, hey, check this out, yo. He had his two Nigerian friends. Showed them the script. You guys know the usual suspects. Some of you Nigerians who are sensitive, not all, but some take it well. Afridamus, you're obsessed with Nigerians. No. If the people involved were from Zimbabwe, guess what? I would say Zimbabwe. If they were from Wakanda, Somalia, Ethiopia, wherever, I would name it. But they happen to be from Nigeria, the usual suspects. He's like, hey, Mr. Olu, hey, let's set this up, hey, check this out. I'm going to say I was hungry at 2 a.m. in a polar vortex in Chicago. And then I said, hey, check this out. What am I hungry for? A foot long or a 6-inch? No, let me go for a foot long. Cold cut. In a vortex. Let me walk as he's going. And some white people in Chicago, the city of Chicago, mind you, they're like, hey, buddy, check this out. You know what we should do? Hey, buddy, why don't we go walk around Chicago and put on our MAGA hats, carry some news and look for, that gay, actor on Empire. That's what they want you to believe. It is hard, like, okay, the man is light enough for you to question what race he belongs to in that type of weather, especially. Look, myself right here. Sometimes when it gets so cold, people mistake me for another race. They think I'm like Arab or something. They're like, hey, what race are you? Are you a Blackfoot Indian? What are you? So I can understand. So when the man said this, I said, wait a minute. If the people mistake me as a Blackfoot or an Arab, don't you think? So this man is easy to mistake him for a Scotsman because he is way lighter than me. You get the point here. So you guys understand why I say these are the new blacks. You get it? So the story was he wants to go get sandwich in a polar vortex, cold weather. He wants a cold sandwich in a cold weather. So some white people came. They said, you are in MAGA country. Aren't you that man, the gay actor on Empire? Aren't you the one? So they put a noose around his neck. And they had bleach because, they said he is not light enough. They wanted to lighten his skin. But then when we found out the story came, I questioned it. They're like, oh, you are a race traitor, Afridamus. You are a coon. You are always going against the black man. And then Jussie himself came out. He said he is the gay Tupac. As you guys can see behind me here. You guys see. That's his Nigerian friends. He hired these Nigerian friends so they can pretend to kidnap him. So now it is payback time for these woke mobsters. I don't want to narrate all of it, but I will bring in a man who is an expert when it comes to the blacks. Because you guys think that, I know you guys already know that I'm an expert when it comes to the blacks. There's a reason why I wore my Sunday suit. Oh, Christopher, thank you. Thank you. There's a reason why I wore it, because I want to identify with the blacks so that you guys know I'm not just saying anything. There's a reason why I'm bringing you this news in the understanding of blackness. For you to know no such thing as these things I'm saying. Because if they existed, why would it have to take a person as light as he is, as popular and wealthy as he is, for him to be the victim instead of dark charcoal, poor, destitute black? This is what I'm saying. In America, it's so beautiful that people have to make up racial hoaxes. But I don't want to keep the man of the hour waiting. Let me bring the conservative himself, the black expert. I would say Espert. Let him introduce himself. Here he comes. But before I bring him, since he's an expert in the blacks, I gotta play black music for him before I bring him. Here we go. Let me bring him and play his black music.
Let's go.
Here he is. But I have to introduce you with your black music. Hold on.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole.
All right, conservative. I gotta stop it right there, so that I want this to stay in your mind, to see the black attacking the white man for his money, because I want you to focus on this area when we get into that. But conservative one, can you introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, your background, and we will get into the Ukraine and what's going on in America. The floor is yours.
Amazing. So, yes, in case if you guys don't know, I am the conservative. I have my own YouTube channel where I go in and I speak about current events. I speak about the issues, the true issues that are going on in the world, and I give a real perspective of the way things should be. Just like how Aphrodite was able to introduce me, you know what I mean, onto the platform. We're here. We're going to be able to speak on things such as the Jussie Smollett case, along with Russia and Ukraine, and I think it's important that we have real people that have a real insight with the way the world should work, mainly with the way that America should work.
The conservative.
Yeah.
Can you tell them your background? Are you a foundational Black American? Like, what is your background, so that they know where you're coming from, and also how you don't identify with the victimhood mindset.
So obviously, I am 100% American. I identify as an American. I mean, granted, I was born in America, so therefore that makes me 100% American. I could go with the normal background of being an African American, but truth be told, being born in the greatest country in the planet that give everybody the opportunity to become you know, to take advantage of what America has to offer. That's what I identify with. And just like you said, there is no such
You know how
thing.
like some people would say, like your parents, you know, did did they come to America, or were they from the plantations?
No, no, no. They. I mean, obviously, you know, they were. I mean, granted, you know, they were immigrants. They came to this country, but
Oh, okay. Where
but
did they come from?
from Nigeria,
Oh, okay, okay.
but
Nigeria in the house.
right, but you know, and obviously, you know, although I recognize the fact that, you know, that I have that Nigerian heritage, but the fact that I was born in this country, I know for sure that I am 100% American. American.
So is that a MAGA hat you have on there?
Yes, as you
So
can see,
show it to the. So you are a red-blooded American. So you are definitely, you're going to be offended by why Jussie Smollett use you know, the "Make America Great Again" as the evil one. This conversation is going to be fun because you know why? There's going to be Nigerians and FBA people who would be so offended by you saying you're 100% American. You know, like when I say I'm American, right?
right,
Which I am American. I
right.
came to America, you know, as a strong man, followed the rules and became an American citizen. Doesn't that make me a red-blooded American?
100%.
Thank you. So now we have people who would cry and say, you are not American. They have one vote, I have one vote. So today we are going to talk about this beautiful nation, the United States of America, how the wokeness is destroying the greatest country on this side of heaven. Are you ready for this?
I was born ready for this.
So tell us, how did you become interested in the blacks? Are you from a black area? Like, where are you from in the United States?
And so I grew up in I grew up in Philadelphia in the northeast section of Philadelphia, which is named Frankfurt, which is predominantly black, and it's an area that is predominantly an area of blacks that came from single mothers. Mainly a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them were on, you know, were on welfare, and an area where I seen a lot of blacks continue kind of continuing the same cycle that we see every day, you know, with the average blacks, where they're having children out of wedlock, the continuing black on black crime, and the single mothers and the single black women that choose to go out and kill the unborn child in their womb after having the child literally out of wedlock. For what I've been experiencing for the most part is the blacks, although they're out there and they're complaining about all of the issues that are happening in this very country.
You
A
know,
lot of the issues,
speaking of which, right?
yes,
Okay, we will get into the Russia one. I'm glad, you know, I like how you segued into this. But
right.
so this idea, so you're laying out the groundwork. So I'm guessing you don't believe in this racism thing.
Right.
No such thing.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as racism. If anything, you know, America has done more than their fair share, kind of bent over.
Do you think the blacks, the blacks want reparation? So you are an American, I am an American. They,
right.
you know, they would have to come to us, the taxpayers,
Absolutely.
the voters.
Right.
So the blacks want reparation. You know this, right?
Absolutely. They
For slavery.
they
But they
talk about it
also,
all the
some
time.
of them have claimed they want reparation from Africa.
Right.
So what do you say about the reparation? And because they said they suffered, for, the number keeps going up for some.
Hmm.
Some, they like saying 400 years, but blacks were in slavery in America less than 400 years. But that's besides the point, you know. So what do you say about reparation?
Well, reparations again. It's another thing that the blacks tend to speak on, and it's the thing that they tend to speak on because, truth be told, they have been brainwashed to believe that that the American people owe them for something that A, they did not go through, and B, something that maybe that neither their parents went through or their grandparents went through. But let's just give them the
But
benefit
wait,
of.
wait. So when you were growing up around the
Mhm.
blacks,
Right.
what was that like? Because you obviously, you've seen from the grassroots, for you to be confident, to know, like, no, the white people are not your problem, quote unquote. Racism is not. How did you come to the conclusion? Like, what was it like growing up around the blacks? How did you, escape, this mentality of being a victim, racism, because you grew up with them? So,
Absolutely.
tell us, what was that like?
So for the most part, I growing up in the inner city, you know what I mean. Growing up with the blacks in the inner city, a lot of them, a lot of them were on welfare and things like that. These were the same blacks that would go out and commit. They will go out and commit crimes, and they will go into a store, and I don't know if you're familiar with the 5-figure discount.
Yes,
So the
very
5 figure,
familiar.
very
Yes,
familiar.
I've played some of the videos here.
Yes. So I witnessed that the blacks
I've
will
witnessed it in real life, in a store when I was brand new in America. It was black. Like, I mean, like, so when people try to argue these points, like, about, because think about it, like,
Mhm.
okay, so when you're young and you're African, right? So people look at you differently. They're not afraid to do things in front of you
Right.
because they think you're dumb. You're not gonna remember. You're not gonna know. But I'm there. I'm observing. I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
So they don't know that what they are doing. To me, that's like degeneracy. Like, a normal human being shouldn't do this. And this is not only the blacks. I've seen other people do this in front of me because they see this guy's young at the time, like, he's African. So, they're not afraid to do this. So I've seen the blacks in action in the stores.
Right.
Yes. But keep going.
Yeah. 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 And the thing, the thing is that um their mentality, for their mentality is that they expect people to give things to them as opposed to them working for it. And then, and they'll use things such as slavery and Jim Crow and all this other stuff, uh, that happened oh so long ago, that they didn't go through themselves, and I highly doubt that their parents or their grandparents went through that, and they'll use that as an excuse to just give them things, as opposed to them getting things for themselves. You know, and obviously it's the brainwashing that they went through people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, the NAACP, the Black Congressional Caucus, the Nation of Islam, and I can go on and on and on about all of these people that made them believe that they are victims, um, rather than being victors.
Yes,
And
that was the topic yesterday. I'm glad you said this.
and
And so because you know why this is interesting to me.
yes.
So because they some of the blacks come here, they're like, oh, you don't understand. Even though I spent most of my life here in America, I'm from Africa, but
Right.
I spent most of it here, right?
Mhm.
If
Absolutely.
we balance it, you look at where I have stayed long. So, so it's interesting that you grew up literally as a child around the blacks and you still did not adopt this mentality. So I'm trying to figure out how you just watching it, you were there, how did you bypass it? Because there are some second generation Africans that are watching.
Right.
For example, like the Kio here, she pretends to be black. She has that victimhood mindset. She doesn't like the truth. So like here she said hate first. Honestly, how come? So she grew, she I think she was born here just like you.
Right.
How does some second generation Africans like her, think this way, but you don't think like her?
Be,
How, like, what happened?
well, um, I think honestly, it has a lot to do with being influenced from the outside as opposed to being influenced from the inside. Um, Obviously, I mean, I grew up with both parents. Both parents were able to show us um, the way that the world works, especially with the way that America works. And that's the reason why I at least had an understanding of the way that America works, as opposed of having an understanding of it, not being able to have two parents in the household that that can show you the real way that it is. I mean, both of my parents immigrated from Nigeria. They came from Nigeria to America, and obviously they would have not made that trip to come to America if they didn't think that America was the
Wait,
greatest.
so your parents, they're from there. What
Right.
would you like? Are you shocked to see, like, let's say a Nigerian born and raised there, travel abroad, and then they are repeating uh the narrative of the blacks, saying
Right.
they
Black
are
black
saying
Black Lives
black,
Matter.
yeah, oh, not even like they're saying all black people should come together, like the same old same. So, like, you see how shocked you are? Because there's a Nigerian that calls here.
Okay.
His name is Tunaya. He's probably watching. He thinks that all black people should come together. He believes in racism. So you were
Amazing.
born, because he's saying the blacks know the whites, right? You were born and raised in a white country, and I'm
Right.
talking to you. So you never see any racism, okay?
Yeah, yes. There's no such thing as racism at all. Racism doesn't exist.
You know
Racism
what?
really.
Here's the proof. Here's the proof.
Okay.
Let's show just a smaller. I already gave the background. In his sentencing for his hoax, faking it, let's show this video and hopefully we can talk about this.
You may have to go to other places in New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jussie Smollett in his sentencing, the race hoaxer, the one that had, you guys know, Nigerian friends help him pretend to be white supremacists. So these people are in white people's country, helping to try to tarnish the image of the white people. But truth wins once again. So Jussie here is going to express how he feels. Let's find out.
In Los Angeles, you can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I was like to say.
Okay,
I am not suicidal.
okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time, I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present? Court is adjourned.
I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, and I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
So, what do you? So Jussie Smollett fabricated. He said he was attacked by some MAGA people, and now we know what to be true. It is a hoax. It is a lie. So he went to, he's saying I'm not suicidal. We all know why he's saying this because
Yeah, he has. I think he's trying to prep himself for his next Academy Award winning performance.
So what do you think about? So obviously, when you say there's no such thing as racism, for just like here's the proof: Jussie Smollett, they have to fabricate racism. But why do you think he's saying I'm not suicidal? Because maybe the people that put him up to this, the Kamalas, the Obamas and all. I mean, like that's what I heard. Not for sure. People, I don't want people running around saying Afridamus said. I'm just repeating what I heard. But what do you want to say on this racial hoax?
It's funny that that Jussie Smollett will go to these great lengths, pretty much just to garner attention for himself. Obviously, he's gonna he's gonna play the race card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he said like here, you see, he's saying that he's going to jail because he's Black. So imagine all the Black people that identify with this skin color thing, who were pretending to be upset, what is it about Black people that they want to fall for these lies of skin color racism? Something, yes, back in the days, it was a thing, but today it's not. Like, what is it about them that even today that this man is getting convicted, some of them are still saying it's racist when they prove that it is a lie? These people lie to try to destroy other people's life.
Absolutely.
What is that all about?
Look, it's the main I think the main culprit with this, and this is the reason why Black people are suffering today. The main reason why the Blacks continue to call racism when we all know that it's a hoax is for the simple fact that not all, but most Blacks refuse to hold themselves accountable for their own actions.
Yes, we talked about accountability yesterday, and that was definitely proven. In fact, it was shocking. It was some Nigerian calling here trying to deviate from personal accountability. But you're right.
Absolutely, and that's just what it that's just pretty much what it comes down to. Way back, when the Blacks were good prior to the Civil Rights Act being signed, which by the way was the worst thing that happened to the Blacks. Black people used to allow God to lead the way as opposed to allowing other people to lead the way, because they had these other so-called Black leaders that are telling them that they are victims and I mean that that they are victims, and that America is treating them as what's the
As
word? What's the word I want to look for?
second class
Right,
citizen.
right. Because America is treating them as second class citizens. That that they should be able to just do whatever they please and not necessarily be held accountable for it. And if they are being held accountable for it, then the very people that are doing that should be considered racist.
So is there any such, is America a racist country, and is there any such thing as white supremacy?
No such thing as racism, no such thing as white supremacy. First of all, if America is a racist country, then the 1.3 million illegal aliens that are in our country today clearly did not get the memo, because they are pouring into our country like uh like like
90
like
going north.
like yeah exactly like 90 going north. It's incredible. And these illegal aliens are of all, I mean, they're of all races and of all ethnic groups. I mean, and they're mainly non-white, pouring into our country. If America really was a racist country, then why would they break in? Why would they break the law and break
So
into our
what
country?
did they, wait, who built America?
It was white people.
Wait a minute. Wait. But the blacks said they built America and they opened the door for African and black immigrants to come here. So wait, can you explain? So the white people built America. That's what I know
Right.
as well. But I want to, you being born in America, born and raised. So
I mean,
tell me, so blacks didn't build America?
which America did they build? Were they the ones that initially came in and discovered the country? Were they the ones that colonized the country? Were they the ones that wrote the Constitution and built the many cities that everyone wants to live in? Can you name one city that was built by the blacks that everybody is living in?
Wait, one. Hold on.
I'll wait.
Wait. He said, name one city
One city
that the blacks built.
that they built.
I mean,
And
they built New York, and I mean, Tariq told the Italians that the blacks built New York. Okay, wait. So what about Atlanta?
I mean, there's a bunch of blacks that live there, but there were no black people that built Atlanta. I mean, originally, Atlanta was built. Yeah, Atlanta was built by the whites, and a lot of whites did live in Atlanta at one time. And then they seen that these radical blacks came in, and then they wanted to move out.
So hence that explained the white flight. So do you think white people are racist for running away from? Because the blacks said the whites want to be around them, but it seems like the whites are the ones distancing themselves from the blacks. Are they racist for this?
No, because I mean, anyone that that's around people who don't, I mean, who are known to come in and be disruptive. And granted, we're not generalizing, not all, but most blacks, who tend to come in and move into these neighborhoods, especially blacks who tend not to originally own anything. They tend to be a problem. So I don't I mean, me personally, I don't have an issue with white people wanting to move out, especially if they know that most of the blacks have a tendency to come in and wreck a neighborhood. You come in one day and everything is nice and clean, and then before you know it, there's trash everywhere. There's people hanging out, and on the hanging out on the corners, or the blacks will come in and they'll double park their cars in the middle of the street. You know, because the blacks have this sense of entitlement where they feel like they can just do whatever they want without any disregard for anyone else living in that neighborhood. And granted, not all, but most.
That's interesting.
Amazing.
That okay, we will come back to this, but let's segue into
Right.
the war over there in Russia.
Right.
Touched on it a bit. They even, in Russia, they try to cook up racism there.
Amazing.
Is this okay? There was some couple of Africans. Now there's a couple of the blacks running around saying, look at the Africans are being discriminated against. I showed some Nigerians saying, no, we are not facing this, because Nigerians, they are strong people. You see, I mean, every now and again you run into some who perpetrate this fake wokeness, but for the most part, say what you want about Nigerians, they are solid on their stance, when it comes to not being weak. I get that. So what do you say to the people, like right now they're trying to perpetrate the racism in Ukraine? Everything is based on Russia. So in your mind, from what you know, what do you think this war is about? What do you think? Why do you think Putin is in Ukraine? Enlighten us.
So the reason why that Russia is in Ukraine, I mean, the reason why Russia is invading Ukraine right now is because Russia feels that Ukraine can be a threat, mainly because the people from what I heard from the people from the Biden administration wanted, or and other countries in the West are trying to
encroach on Russia's borders.
Right. They're trying to convince Ukraine to join NATO.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if that were to happen, you know what I mean? And if Ukraine were to happen to infiltrate Russia in any way, then Russia will have NATO forces along with the bombs and along with the missiles pointed right at Russia.
And they have sonic missiles. They can blow up Moscow in 5 minutes. See, many people that talk against Russia, they don't understand how these weapons work. You see, I have even heard some, because they bought into the propaganda, especially because, some of these blacks, not only the blacks, even the Africans, they are sharing this on their pages. They just do what they are told. But I'm glad you touched on that. So, yeah, Russia is trying to protect itself against what they are trying to do to them. Continue.
Yes, and because of that, Putin takes that as a threat. It's just as equivalent as the Chinese wanting to join allies with Canada and Mexico and have them join NATO, and then have NATO forces pointing
Chinese forces at
right.
Yeah.
And then have missiles and bombs coming from Canada and from Mexico pointed at the United States of America.
Well, remember the history, they call it the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes.
Because Russia wanted to set up shop in Havana.
Right.
And
right.
Cuba. And that's close to the United States.
Absolutely.
They could easily take, hit targets here. So Russia, can you blame them for wanting to protect themselves?
Absolutely not. And that's the reason why Putin is invading Ukraine, because he's saying, listen, I will wreck this country before this country decides to want to threaten and wreck us. So obviously everything that you're hearing in the media, and let me just touch on the media for a little bit,
Yeah,
because
go for it.
I think it's a shame nowadays that we cannot depend on the media for anything at all. It's a shame that the same media that is supposed to report
The truth.
the truth and the news are reporting nothing more than their opinions. I mean, the news is supposed to be objective, but it's more subjective than anything else. And you really can't trust anything that they're saying about this Russia situation. Not even Fox News. And Fox News is
Oh
considered.
yeah, I've seen Fox. You see, this is the thing. That's why people like us have to exist, because you
Right.
see I've seen on some of the platforms, African platforms, they are spreading the propaganda. So it makes me think, because some of these people have said they're the smartest, they're the smart Africans, right? But it shows that why Africa is where it is,
Mhm.
because the people that claim to be smart, they bought into the propaganda. Like the news tell us that Joe Biden had 80 million votes, but you cannot question it. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Absolutely.
question it. You don't see it. You don't run into people in real life that tell you that they voted for him, or like somehow it only exists in the media, and you have some of these immigrants repeating the narrative. You see? So speak on the media like CNN, MSNBC, Joy Reid, and all those people. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, the main thing that you see with this situation going on with Russia and Ukraine is they're painted the narrative of Putin as being a gangster. Oh, Putin is a monster, and oh, Putin is an evil dictator. I mean, they're comparing Putin to Hitler, and
Like they did with Trump before, remember?
the Great White Hope.
Can you tell them who you refer to as the Great White Hope?
Donald Trump, our real president.
So wait, but if the blacks, you don't mind that the blacks will be upset that you support Trump instead of Biden? That's it. So wait, you don't want to lose your black card?
Oh, I didn't realize that I had a black card.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I didn't realize that I had a black card
Oh,
at
okay.
all.
Then I take it you don't care. So so if you look at it, like let's say in America right now, because Biden, remember around the election, everything they said, whatever you say, they say is racism. White people cannot talk. If they talk, they say they are racist,
Right.
because obviously the blacks are the loudest. You can speak the truth to them. Not all, but most. Obviously, they're the ones that are showing out. You see, but now that the truth is unveiling, do you think we, the people, we know the media is lying?
Mhm.
Do we even know what is going on in that region of the world? Because
Honestly,
because the truth is not being told in the American media, that's for sure.
no.
I usually have to go out to like other sources to get the truth. That I know. But many of these people are getting their news from MSNBC, CNN. What you and I are speaking of is foreign to them. We are literally coons. We are white supremacists. You know this, right? To some of these people, we are white supremacists because they believe
Nice.
white people are above them. So they think you and I, we are above them. You see? Because
Wow.
that's what white supremacy is. So
Amazing.
so 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 speak on the media and what they're trying to get us, how they're trying to shape our minds, when it comes to Russia.
Yeah. So the thing is they're reporting um they're they're
Hold on.
they're,
Yeah,
they're
keep going. I'll be
sorry. Yeah. So they're reporting the effects, but they're not necessarily reporting the cause of it. I don't believe that that Putin can go to sleep and just wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm just going to invade Ukraine. Just for the heck of it. Just
Yeah.
because just because I feel like it. I mean, there's no way that anyone, regardless of how so-called evil they are just going to just go in and invade a country without having to suffer the ramifications
So
of doing so.
do you think like when they say, oh, Putin is invading Ukraine, how is this different than when America take the moral high ground? Remember on TV how they said Saddam had all this. I remember this is from years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
It turns out to be a lie. So what, because if you look at it, polls, the real polls, right?
Yes.
Which was taken even by these woke, pollsters whatsoever. The truth came out. Only 26% of Americans support the idea for America to, participate, take part in this. 62% said if the great white hope, Trump, was in office, this would have never happened. 52% thinks Biden is not competent mentally to run the country.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that?
I make of that as people, as the real American people speaking to the real effect of what's really going on. Ukraine has no interest for the United States of America. There's no reason why we should even get involved in that in the
So
first
what
place.
about the 66 billion? Like the blacks complained. They're like, look, oh man, they're trying to give Ukraine 66 billion. We should get it. They want reparation, but I know where you stand. You said no reparation. So do
Right.
you think, but because many of the blacks don't know how to separate between foreign aid and reparation. So giving Ukraine 66 billion, what do you like? Do you support that as an American
I,
to help them fight?
but no, absolutely not. Because
So America should stay out of it.
100%. You want to give out 66 billion to Ukraine, you know what I mean, for to Ukraine to fight, and you want to give them security at the border, but then you're not willing to put that same money into securing our own borders. I find it funny that
So yeah, because Biden stopped the border wall. He stopped the Keystone pipeline, because if you look at it right now, gas prices are up right now tremendously, right? You go to the grocery store, inflation is up the
through the
yin yang.
roof.
So, but he wants to, because you remember a few months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm somebody, I play in the stock market. I
Okay.
have, several portfolios.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep up with this. I read the news every day early in the morning. So a few months ago, America was energy sufficient. Remember that? America had so much oil. Remember when they were paying companies to take it for free? A few months ago, gas prices were, like in some areas is under $2.
Right.
But today, gas prices is, I've seen some people post it over $5. I've seen with my own eyes, $5.99.
Right.
Right. And now it's hitting real people who were just like, oh, they are upset because they don't like what Trump wrote on Twitter, instead of focusing on the job. So you're right, it doesn't make sense for America to want to participate in helping Ukraine. What would America gain from helping Ukraine? What do you think?
Other than getting it, I mean, other than getting into World War III, absolutely nothing. You know, other than causing mass casualties, you know what I mean? Because the minute that we intervene, now we're going to war with Russia over.
But don't you think what Anthony Blinken,
Mm-hmm.
what, I don't know if you've heard his press conference when he said, because they're thinking about sanctioning Poland because they want Poland to provide the jets. Remember, there's a video of Anthony Blinken talk, but you see, the issue is I don't know what is going on, but
It is
I
none
don't
of
think
our
Biden. I
business.
don't think Biden is in charge of America because they cannot get the American military to get involved.
Right.
But they want Poland to provide the planes, and Poland, they said, okay, yeah, we can provide the planes, but we're not gonna fly it because that's active war with Russia. But what Blinken is saying, wouldn't that be interpreted as active war? Because he's looking for people. Because if Poland have the nuts to fly into Ukraine and bomb, which meaning they are challenging Russia, if
Mm-hmm.
they, so that would cause problem for Poland. But wouldn't that, like the United States through Blinken, didn't they show themselves as the real enemy of Russia?
I mean, they would because Poland, you know, Poland is a NATO country, and it's just and by them doing that, all they're going to do is create a lot more problems for themselves than they should have. I mean, actively any type of action that's going to require for them to interfere with what Russia is doing, you're actively going into war. And this is something that the media has been popping up. You know, you have the Rhino Republican Adam Kissinger, you know, that's saying that Poland should be able to help initiate that Poland should come into Ukraine and help initiate the no-fly zone, meaning that they should shoot down
Right.
any type of Russian
Bad idea.
any type of Russian aircraft in the air. And these people don't realize that they're going to create more issues for the American people, you know what I mean, and for other countries involved than, you know what I mean, than they should. In the end, everyone seems to be over exaggerating over the truth. And the truth of the matter is, Putin is doing what he can do to protect his country and make his country great again. And that's no different from what we would do. We wouldn't have bombs and missiles anywhere near our border. So what makes you think that Putin is going for that same aspect?
Well, because the people have been programmed to believe that America can pounce on anyone. But this time around, what we are learning is yesterday, because that's what I was given, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you you make yourself a target, if you're weak, because if I know that I can take you easily, right? I'll give you ultimatum of my wants. If you don't go for it, guess what? I would give myself the moral high ground because I know I'm going to win. But you know, if this was any other country other than Russia, what do you think the United States would have been doing at this point?
If this was any other country besides Russia,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think they would get involved, or at least I don't
No,
think
they would go in there, they would invade and bomb the hell out of those people. But you see, Russia can hit in the United States. But let me ask you this. What do you make of because some of the blacks were complaining again with this Ukraine thing? Because you know they cannot see anything other than race. Not all, but most. So over generations, even Iraq, there were Africans from Africa who they make a living by going to different countries as mercenaries fighting wars. This is, they make money from this. This is the way they make money. But there are, you know, which is an individual choice, right? But there are blacks, they think these people who are following their individual endeavor, they are identifying with that as if these people are doing this in the name of all the black people instead of just their pocket. So I saw an article where Ukraine was some Ukrainian in, I think it's a Senegal by the embassy. They're offering $1,000 to go fight in Ukraine. That's a lot of money for somebody in Senegal. And these people want to volunteer to make their thousands to go fight in Ukraine. What do you think about Africans who are mercenaries, who saw a war and they're paying? This is what they do. They want to go fight. Does this have anything to do to be a representation for all blacks and Africans? What do you make of this?
Well. I mean, well, absolutely not. I mean, you just, you just made the example that the ones that are doing it are ones that are pocketing, they're
The money.
they're pocketing the money for it.
Because even in Iraq, right? In Iraq, most people don't know this. Like in Sierra Leone, there was civil war. I was in Sierra Leone as a kid. That, like I lived there. It's my first country, So those child soldiers, when the war ended, there's a documentary, people, you can go research this. Most of them, so they created these camps, they said rehab camp. But these people became older, right?
Okay.
20, 21. They were fighting wars in the Iraq war as mercenaries. Because there's companies like Blackwater, there's Blackwater, there's some companies in South Africa. We used, like when I was a kid in the war, I've seen South African mercenaries in Sierra Leone. They are fighting the war, you see. So these people are doing the same thing in Iraq, and now Ukraine is offering this.
Yeah, it seems like it's all about, for them it's about the money. They want a profit. Obviously there's a financial incentive that's in it for them, but to try to get other people to get involved in that, I mean, just keep in mind you're in one completely different part of the country, and these people are trying to get you into trying to fight another person's war. It just doesn't make sense. I think a lot of people will be more focused on their borders and make sure that their borders in their country is safe.
Would you be open to possibly people that would have questions or challenge some of the things you say? Would you be open, because we have less than an hour to go.
Okay.
I don't want this to be too long. Are you open to taking, calls?
I'm more than gladly. More than gladly.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the link. Those of you that want to add on or challenge anything the conservative is saying or what I'm saying, the link is in the chat. I'm gonna pin it, so hit that link, come in, and if you feel like, oh no, man, you guys are lost, you don't know the white man is holding. If you feel like, oh no, man, the white man is holding the black man back, oh, whatever, just hit the link, come on through, and you can ask the conservative one any question you like. All right, we have someone here for you, conservative one.
Nice.
Mo Solomon. Mo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Mo, you're here with me and the conservative one. So we touched on Jussie Smollett's, remember, Mo, I said there's no such thing as racism, right? It's hoax.
Yeah.
It's not real. So we touched on it, you heard it, and then Russia. What do you have for the guest?
Okay, firstly, I was gonna touch up on the subject of yesterday and how me and you were challenging Two Nigers' victimhood mentality. His mentality was, again, it was an absurd mentality for me to process, because if you're thinking about it, you're leaving Africa to have a better life and to better yourself in a better country. And an example would be you're going to European countries or the American countries. And he had this notion that there's a system in place to keep you in check so you never succeed. I mean, that has to be some of the most wildest stuff I've heard.
So
This
what did you
imaginary
learn
system.
from learn from seeing the conservative here, who
I
was
mean, what I learned about
born and raised in the United States?
I mean,
originally his parents are from the same country as, like you mentioned, to Niger, but he doesn't think that way. What do you
I
make of
mean, firstly, I'd have to say, he's got a good mindset. He chose conservative over Democrat because I want to say as knowledgeable about American politics as other Americans, but I tune in here and there, so I've got a bit of knowledge about it. I mean, if you're looking at how Trump ran the country, everything pointed out for him to be one of the, if not the greatest president of America. If you're gonna talk about what he done for black people solely, black people's employment went up. The black people's crimes went down.
Conservative
Right.
one? You want to talk on that, like the jobs and crimes? Allow the conservative one to touch on that because he's very vast in this.
For me, yes. So obviously, when Trump was in office, obviously, the amount of jobs went up, and crime went down mainly because he would come in and any issues of a major crime that was there, he would immediately take action. For instance, I remember that there was some type of riot that was going on, during the entire so-called summer of
love.
Right.
Yeah, I live in the city of Summer of Love. I went. I visited the spot. It's. I don't live too far from it.
Right.
So yeah.
And obviously there was an issue going on. All the people wanted to come out and riot and throw things, and they refused to leave, and Trump went in and enacted the National Guard to get to disperse them, because there was a huge crowd, and he was able to control that crowd. There was law and order, and employment was up, inflation was down, and
do
we
you
were
think
living amazing.
Do you think Trump will be back 2024?
2024 for sure, but and
another thing I didn't touch on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot when we talked about Ukraine. I want to remind people. Okay, what are they going to do when China invades Taiwan? Because that's the next stop, right? This administration don't say anything about China, but Taiwan. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, the next invasion, China is going to invade Taiwan. And what will you guys say then? But sorry, before I cut you off, we have think before you type.
Oh, nice.
I think
okay.
he might have some contribution. I think before you type is a Democrat. Yesterday he was promoting people like Ilhan Omar, radical, progressive, left wing.
Yeah.
So I'll let him. So I think he's. So be easy on him, because he gets pretty touchy when you talk about the left wing. So think before you type. Do you have any questions or comments for the conservative?
All right. So already you started off wrong compared to what my position was. I never said I voted for Democrats
Well,
or
you didn't
Republicans.
have to, you know, just
No,
your you know,
we
your
were talking about.
description and what you accept, you know, to
You
be
remember what I said yesterday, Afrodamus? I said Democrats and Republicans are two cheeks of the same ass.
right. That's what I
You know what I
learned
mean?
in my government class.
Yeah.
Think before you type.
So you can't say I'm a
When I
Democrat.
was in the 13th grade, right? I took government class, right? When I
Civics,
write,
right?
when I write my paper, you know how, like, you know, the partial online classes, the other students supposed to see it, right? But they just give me an A. They don't let the other students read, you know, what I wrote. It's crazy.
Right.
But before you get into it, I want conservative one. I forgot to ask you this. So conservative one,
Okay.
did you go to the 13th grade, you know, college?
Yes. Yes, I did. I did.
So okay, this is interesting.
Hmm.
Huh.
But
So
here's a question.
did you steal that college spot from FBA, meaning foundational black, who great grandparents, you know, were in the plantations? Did you steal their spot that the white man reserved for them?
Well, I mean, I want to think that I actually
Did you
earned.
go to a black college?
No. I went. I mean, I went to a mixed community college in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. So you did. Okay. Is there any chance? I mean, like, you don't have to admit to it here, but
Okay.
is there any chance that you stole a spot that was reserved, you know, for FBA person?
Um. No. I don't believe that I did. I mean, I believe I went in and went through the same uh requirements that were needed to get into the school, and I was able to pass the requirements with flying colors. Think
How
before you,
were the blacks doing in the college there?
what were they doing?
Yeah, most of, you know, like some of your black friends.
Um, yeah, if I have to remember, yeah, most of
Because, you know,
them.
like, you know, the 13th grade school I went to, like, you know, so the drug dealer there at the college was some
Right.
blacks. Some of the blacks were like the drug dealers, and they are on the basketball team, you know, like
Yeah,
chasing the ball and stuff. Yeah. But
yeah,
they were not reading, that's for sure.
right. For the most part, and granted, not all, but most blacks really didn't take the schooling seriously, and I think the main reason is because a lot of them were on student loans, um, or they.
Student loans. Wait, so what, the blacks were not getting, you know, free, you know, like grants? They were taking loans on, or
but
are
but
they taking loans on top of their grants?
Yes, yeah, for the most part, I think a lot of them had, a lot of them did come in with grants. I think a lot of them came in with, I think, yeah, I think some of them were able to come in with, with student loans as well. But what you didn't really hear is a lot of them being able to pay out of pocket, and I think that's the reason why they weren't really taking their their classes seriously, because they know that they can get in and do whatever they want and flunk, but they're not really responsible for it.
Damn,
Yeah,
this,
for the school.
I can believe most of these blacks can even pass it in the 13th grade. But think before you type. Go ahead. Because see, I came from Africa. I was passing the 13th grade. In fact, I made it on the dean's list several times. That's what's wild. But you know, that's not here or there. Go ahead, think before you type. What do you want to say?
Yeah, so this is part of the questions, and I do actually enjoy people that have different, opinions or different ideologies and things like that, just so we can understand on the context. So from for me, what I've understood by studying civics, which is like political, governmental aspect, is that over the years and also how the media and the state functions together, is that both Democrats and Republicans are like two cheeks of the same ass. They in fact the
Well,
conservatives. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans are two
They're
cheeks. Yeah,
the
or two cheeks
yeah
of the same ass.
the establishment predominantly. That's that part I agree, but they are the one who are in
Wait,
control of
think before you
part of
type.
government.
We want to know, because I want to understand the trajectory of this. So, are you a radical Democrat? So, because I want the conservative one to know
No, I mean
the type of person they are talking to. So, are you one of the people that believe like Biden won fair and square 85 million people, 85 million votes?
Yeah, so for my starter, for my position, what my political ideology is I'm a Democrat. In Democrat
So you
conservative.
are a Democrat. So do you approve of
No,
abortion,
no, but I'm saying
gay
this
marriage?
it's an independent I'm talking about. Like for
No, wait,
example,
no, but
No.
you
hold on,
cannot
hold on.
be a
Let,
a Democrat and not support
I'm gonna clarify.
abortion,
Of course.
Same-sex marriage.
same-sex
You ever heard of
marriage.
the Blue Dogs Democrat?
No,
All right. So it's like are you aware of like Joe Manchin? Would he be
I
considered
am
like
very aware of him.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
are
you
you
know
that type? So are you a Joe Manchin
I'm not saying I'm
Democrat?
like Joe Manchin, but I'm saying like usually what I see from both political parties, right? I'm usually an independent. Last election and even the previous one, I voted for as an independent candidates.
Do you
My
support
philosophy
Ilhan Omar?
in terms of what her positions is with
No,
like LGBT,
her political ideology, because
no, yeah, because we don't align.
she's not vague. Ilhan Omar, say
Yeah,
what you want
so
about her. She's not vague about her ideology and what she supports.
it's only
So
that part.
do you support her ideology?
No, I just told you we don't. My political ideology it doesn't align with her. Like more of the progressive side. From my perspective, is that it's like you know you have the libertarian right within the Republican Party. It's like there's different wings, and you also have conservatives.
Do you support same-sex marriage?
Of course not.
Do
You know,
you
I am a
support
Muslim. We don't.
abortion? Do you support abortion?
No, it doesn't make sense.
So
Yeah.
do you support racism?
Wh- Racism. What the hell does that
The-
even mean? Like the black
exactly.
race, white race?
So think before you tap. Then you cannot be a Democrat if you don't support abortion. Like murdering the baby in the womb. That AKA because now you see all these hypocritical white liberals with their lattes. Oh, I'm crying for Ukraine.
But
How
have you
many?
noticed though?
It's all lies. You know what I'm saying?
Afidams, I'm going to make a point, right? Which is the conservatives that we see today used to be Democrats
No,
30, 40 years ago.
conservative. You want to answer this?
Hold on,
No,
yeah,
allow the
And
conservative
so
to answer this. He's the guest.
yeah.
yes.
Do you
So
think that's a fair assessment? Like the Democrats back in the day were very
No, the
conservative, like in the
Democrats were
no,
1920s?
they were the
No,
no.
no,
KKKs. They're the
Well,
ones that they came up with Jim
absolutely.
Crow. They were the ones that were stopping
and that's but hold on,
black people from joining their party. They were the ones burning crosses in black people's yard. You know this, right?
that's
Right.
what I'm saying.
It
They
was
were
So yeah, the
highly
same
conservative.
people that terrorize black people. They used to call them the Night Riders because
Yeah,
black people
I'm
used
aware
to
of that.
the Republican Party was formed, in fact, by it was white people and black people that formed that party.
That's what I'm saying. But
So they
I
used to be the Dixiecrats. They ride around in horses, and they burn crosses in black people's yard. They lynched some. So
so this is the question I'm
you
going to ask,
remember,
right?
Robert Byrd, right? Byrd. Joe
Bard,
Biden gave
yeah,
eulogy
BYRD. Yeah,
in his funeral. He was a grand wizard in the
of the
KKK
KKK.
of the KKK,
Mhm.
and he said he was a fine man.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm aware of that. But this is what
But
I'm
these people
saying.
were terrorizing black people. These people believed that black people were inferior to
That's
them.
Afidamis. I'm going to make a point, right? So this is what I'm saying. Usually, the political parties they switch sides every couple of decades or so, or
That's
more
not
than that.
true.
But I'm saying like right now, like if you look at the civics from back in the day, right, the civic studies, you will see a lot of the people who are conservative now used to been part of the Democratic Party, and as soon as Ronald Reagan got elected, and as soon as that happened, a lot of the conservative that were in the Democrats side, they switched over to the Republican side. And back in the day, the Republicans were more of a libertarians, and they were actually more of a free-thinking, forward people. You know, you had, you
So
know,
wait. Are
you know,
you think before you type?
they
Think
freed
before
the
you type.
slaves.
Wait.
They had a
Think
lot of.
before you type. Wait. Are you a progressive? Would you consider yourself a progressive?
No, I said I'm independent.
So
When it
you're
comes,
like
like the way I view
independent Democrat.
So
independent, more of a conservative
the-
side.
So AKA Marxist.
Not a Marxist. You know, independent conservative. You know, it's
Okay,
right leaning.
so wait. I'm
Wait,
confused.
yeah.
Hold on, I'm confused.
It would be the equivalent of saying like conservative Democrat.
There's no such thing. I
There's
mean,
no such thing,
No,
man.
okay. You have the blue dogs, right? I don't know. I'm surprised you
Man,
guys never heard of the term.
I mean, I think
Okay,
you're
just
dancing around.
no,
I
no.
think
Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin. Is he a
no,
Democrat or a Republican?
he is old school. He's actual liberal, not radical liberal. There's a
No, no. I'm saying,
difference.
is he
right.
a conservative or is he a Democrat?
Well,
What do
he
you
would
call
be
it? Liberal?
considered his principles in today's atmosphere, he would be considered
Uh, uh,
a conservative.
yeah.
Because
So
today, look at how radical the ideologies have become.
that's why it's called the Overton window. Politics is shift. There's a term for it. It's called Overton window. Every couple of years or so, it like the pendulum it swings from one direction, and when
It,
there is the extreme one side, then it swings from the other direction. And usually
it,
the people that gravitate that. Well, go ahead, conservative.
yeah. It usually though it's just those type of people who are taking all of this um all of this ideology crap that they learn from college, and it kind of gets them away from the common knowledge that they should have. Republicans were the original party that wanted to stop the
Free
Democrats,
the slaves.
because yeah, it was the Democrats that wanted to keep slavery, and it was the Republicans that wanted to abolish slavery. The Republicans, true Republicans, I'm not talking about the rhinos, that are just there
Abraham Lincoln type. Yeah.
for power. Right. The true Republicans are the Republicans that are for the people. They believe in God, freedom, family, and the Constitution. And it's unfortunate now, that we have Democrats. I mean, Democrats and even a lot of the so-called Republicans, they call themselves Republicans, but they're really rhinos that, that really stand more for trying to get things for themselves and trying to help out the elites as opposed to representing the very people, the very constituents that they are supposed to serve.
Do you think
And
that what do you call the cancel culture? For me, when I observe what cancel culture is,
mhm.
I have observed it from both sides. Because on one side you have the typical liberal, aspect where they want to cancel, certain aspect because of people they don't like what a conservative person might have to say at a campus or any type of platform, right?
Mhm.
Which I 100% disagree. But I also seen, uh, Republicans who are also trying to cancel by interfering. For example,
Right.
what do you call?
Those right.
Can I
I
I was gonna make a yeah,
okay.
But
but I
think
was no,
before
no.
you
This is
type.
actually from
Think before you
Donald
type.
Trump, right?
Wait.
Do you
Think
remember
before you
Donald
type.
Trump?
Wait.
Yeah.
Think before. Don't you? Those people, right? Because people, they can be, wolves in sheep's clothing. They can claim this is what they are, but we look at their behavior, right? It's completely different. It's un-American. These people are communists. These people are Marxists. Let me ask you something. Are you a left winger?
What do you mean left winger? I just told you my ideology is more of a conservative side, but with like a
Then
libertarian aspect.
why did you have problem with proud Eritrean yesterday, you
Oh,
know,
because he was
on what he is, because he was going against leftist Marxist ideology. So you were
that wasn't what
offended
we're
by that,
talking
and you
about.
were standing up, you were defending
Afrodamus, we can go
Marxist
back and look at the
ideologies. You
see
were
again.
defending it.
Afrodamus, you know what? In all honesty, I really view you as someone who's always been objective in a lot of ways. But
Yes.
yes, no, hold on. But let me finish. But what I've seen yesterday, and actually what you even saying right now by putting words in my mouth and kind of like
Well, you can
put
correct
it
me.
in a
I'm not putting it in your mouth. You
no,
can
but that
correct it.
you have to ask me though. So yesterday,
Well,
what the
correct it. You have the opportunity here.
all right.
Yeah.
So the issue was by generalizing people, by taking the actions of few people and by saying all of these people this is how they're behaving. So that was where my main issue was. And he actually only used the concept of saying just because certain people vote a political line, right? If let's just say if they were Democratic, that somehow they support BLM and all this stuff. And then I was telling him that, hey, if you are an Eritrean person, the vast majority of people who are Eritrean also vote, what do you call it, Democratic
But
line.
he didn't
So
deny it.
no, he was trying to he obfuscated by saying that no, that's not the case, all this stuff. But I was saying like if you have to use a criteria, you also have to stand by what you're saying. So even right now, when I came into the show, you I obviously said that I was like a more of a libertarian, like more of a liberal type of aspect.
Well, that's
And
what
for
you
me,
expressed yesterday.
that's not what I expressed. I actually yesterday I told you
Because
both
because I
corners are
heard
two
wait,
cheeks of the
I
same
heard
ass.
wait, I heard both of you. So one individual is describing it, giving a name to it, but like the proud Eritrean was, speaking of what he is seeing, what to be true. So you were
From
opposing
his perspective.
what you were opposing
Yeah, but he
what
was
he was going
generalizing.
against. But we
But
have to. We are broadcasting.
no, generalization is what I'm
No,
talking
but
about.
but 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 we're
So,
on
for
a
example, if you
on a
say when people
medium.
say, well, no, when people say like all Republicans or conservative are racist, I'm 100% I'm against that.
No, okay.
You
Think
know what I
before
mean?
that. When
So,
I
but
say
that's
the blacks, right? When I say the blacks, do you think it's every black person? There are black people who understand what I'm saying.
yeah, but see, this is the
If they
issue.
know, they know, they
You,
know. But what I'm
yeah,
saying,
you as a
if for
host
me,
has to
the
be
argument,
careful the
okay, for
words that you
example,
use.
right? If somebody says most Gambians greet other people they meet, strangers. Yes, most do it, but not all. So I'm not going to be like, no, not all of them. I understand what the person is saying.
What if they say
So they are saying
Gambians?
that,
What if they
yeah,
say Gambians?
yeah, if they say Gambians, I know what they are saying. I like, I'm not going to come, like, if they say this and I observe it to be true, I'm not going to come and say, no, not all. I understand it cannot be all.
You know what
Like,
difference?
it cannot
What
be all.
differentiates you? What differentiates you between the average person that you had a conversation with is that when you are a host and you have a platform to discuss this, it is more of a. It would be more of a like a better suited for you that when you are talking about a specific a group that you would have to differentiate and put it more of a palatable terms. So that's what I was saying. Like let's just say if you would have just said yesterday, you know what? All conservative are like this. If I would have called in, I would have told you like that's
You know
that's
what?
not the case.
But
Fine. I'm gonna let you conservative answer that. Think
okay.
before that. Thank you for coming. I'll put you back and I'll bring in proud Eritrean. Good thing he called in. He would clarify this and I'll bring you in. Just hang tight, okay?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, the conservative.
Yeah, so I mean, in the end, you know, Republicans have, have a set of values that they stand for. Democrats have a set of values that they stand for. And anyone that's a real Republican will stand by those values. Anyone that's a real Democrat will stand by those values. Republicans are really more for America. Democrats are really more for a new world order.
And hence, so the race question they always push is a hoax. Do you think
Oh,
these people care about black people? and what black people go through?
Absolutely not. You know, they use racism. You know, they pretty much use racism as a tool to, you know, to oppress. I mean, to use policies when they're in office to oppress the very people that they claim racism is affecting. So it's more of an oxymoron more than anything else.
Well, we have Proud Eritrean. Thank you for calling in. Do you have any question or clarification or what you want to say to the conservative here? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So the conservative made a brilliant point there. He said the Democrats have certain values, the Republicans have certain values. If you vote for a party, you are voting for their values as well. I can't vote for the Republican Party and then be pro-abortion, pro-gay marriage, pro-free gender bathrooms, free crack pipes. You see?
100%.
Exactly. It makes no sense. It's a blatant contradiction. So what I was basically arguing in the last show is looking at how the second generation Africans vote, it's primarily Democrat.
Right.
And because it's primarily Democrat, they obviously support those democratic values, as mentioned before, abortion and so on. These Somalis in specific are very conservative people, though. They very Muslims. They have very conservative values. So for them to vote for the Democratic Party is nonsensical, and it should stop. That's all I was arguing.
Yeah, that's what I gathered from the conversation. So the conservative, what do you think about what he's saying? I'll bring in Think Before You Type so he can, elaborate.
I absolutely agree with his stance. You know what I mean? You can't say that you're for one party. You can't say that you vote that you're for that one party, but then the views that you have contradicts what the party stands for. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense at all. You know, you can't say that you're a you can't say that you're a Republican, but then you support homosexual marriage. You support government expansion. You know, you're against the Second Amendment. You're against the First Amendment. It just your values doesn't line up with the party. You know what I mean?
All right. You know what? All right. So probably Richard says you put it that way. All right. I understand from that perspective. But then I'll give you as to why you are seeing a lot of minorities from different background voting for the Democratic Party. And I don't think it has to do with homosexuality or all this BLM and all this stuff. Because currently, as we are speaking right now, the Democrats are more receptive to having refugees and other people coming in, while the conservative and the Republican
But
Party
are they trying to
against
bring
it.
in? But
But you get my point. I'm saying.
But
So this,
future voters, because you look at places like New York, like okay, like this voter ID law, right? These Democrats are arguing that, you should be able to vote, without showing ID, which is silly. Like, I mean, everybody has ID in America. Like, you cannot buy liquor without having an ID. You cannot go to the club. So they try to lie and say, oh, it's racist. It's black people who cannot get ID. When you go to the clubs, who is at the club more than anybody else? So they lie and say black people don't have ID. I have never met a black person who doesn't have an ID, even a homeless black person.
No,
in
I get that
America,
part.
I've never met a black American who doesn't
So,
have an ID.
but this is what I was saying, right?
Also, the blacks, the blacks that are on welfare, you cannot get government assistance without an ID. So that the fact that they're stating that black people will have to get an ID, and that black people are required to get an ID like everybody else to vote, so that they don't undermine the very vote that they gave you a right to do, is blasphemous.
Yeah. So conservative, right? And proud Eritrean, and also Afidamus. Do you understand the concept that when people vote, they tend to vote based on their interest, right? So when nowadays, when you see,
I'm sorry. I think I couldn't hear the question too much. You have a lot of static in the background.
all right, can you hear me now?
Just
you're scratchy.
All right. How about now? It's still the
No,
same, or
I'll drop you back and bring
hold
you
on? Let
in.
me.
Hold on. Who's somebody is?
Yeah, it was me. I was just making a point. I'm gonna.
I think it's the conservative.
Hold on. Let's see.
Conservative, can you mute yourself?
I just did. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I don't think it was on my end. It was fine.
Yeah.
But this is what I was saying, conservative. The question that I wanted to ask you: do you think that people vote based, in political lines based on, their vested interests, like, based on interest? Because what we're seeing now, when you see
Man,
a lot
somebody
of
has their smoke detector. Who is that?
It's not
but
me.
Man, proud Eritrea, you better fix that smoke detector,
It's
man.
not me. It's not
Man,
me.
man, why are you over? Man, why you acting all hood over here? Man, you better fix that, man. You don't want that
It's
house
him.
to
It's
burn
him.
down without it sending the signal. Change that battery, man.
Can you mute yourself? So
Yeah.
I'll ask the question.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
So what I was saying is that when people usually vote, they vote based on their interest, And right now, what we're seeing with it, as to why you see a lot of minority groups, right, from all different, different backgrounds. The reason, they tend to vote for the Democratic Party currently today is because the Democratic Party are more receptive to them coming in to the country, and
That's not
that.
true, though.
But no, in all honesty, when you look at the politics
That's
aspect
not
of it, right?
true. The
Let me,
Democrats are for illegal immigration. Like
whether they are, but
what Trump is for, right? I support. Trump said he's gonna come. He is gonna stop illegal immigration, and he's gonna remove the visa lottery system. Nothing wrong with that.
it's about the perception a lot of times. I get the whole point, but it's about the perception. And usually, the Democratic Party are more of a receptive for the,
No, they are not receptive. That's
no,
not true. They are
but
way more
I know.
racist.
Let me finish, and you can respond to it, right? Because what I'm
Like
saying,
what they describe as racist, because when they base everything on skin color, saying, "Oh, your shortcomings is because of your skin color," isn't that the reason why we're talking about Jussie Smollett? He had to lie, to fabricate, to try. This is to try to turn this fabricated word into reality when it's not even true.
yeah, but I get what you're saying, but when people vote for political lines, they're usually voting for, like, what have you done for me lately? They're not just voting for them by saying, like, oh, you know what, I'll accept this. It would be the equivalent of going to a buffet line and cherry picking what you want. And a lot of the minorities, if you notice, they are very conservative, but also the ones who are, accepting them are the democratic blue states. Because if you look at where a lot of the minorities live, Asians, Africans, Latinos, a
Well,
lot
it's
of they live in the
because they are
democratic
bigger,
blue states.
because
And
they tend to be the bigger cities.
yeah, but that's where they gravitate towards. You know what I mean? And that's where
Most immigrants go to bigger cities. Bigger city mean
which is
they
more
have
welcome
more
to each other.
opportunity.
But that's what I'm
So
saying. So
more money to go around. But even
that's
these
yeah.
conservative places, I've been to the conservative speak on this. We met in Orlando, Florida. And Orlando is a big, clean city, has opportunity, has jobs.
So can I just interject on what thing?
Man, something is happening to you. Hold on, I'm gonna pull you out and bring you in again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Can you fix your audio?
It's kind of
Okay.
it's static.
It's staticky.
Okay. So the blacks really have been taught to vote based on based on their perception of themselves. Like and the thing is,
You want to fix that audio? I'm gonna put you back and bring you back real quick.
what is
Real
it?
quick.
Is it
It's
on my part? Or
staticky on your part, yeah.
it's on my part.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Proud Eritrean. What do you think about the Jussie Smollett, you know, quote unquote race hoax. And as far as what I always talk about, saying no such thing as racism. You know,
Yeah.
what do you know, like, do you see the connection here?
Yeah, I absolutely do see the connection. It was very disgusting. Many of these people, these elitists, these Black American elitists, they weaponize racism for their own gain. And in the process, they ruin the reputation of the Black American community at large. They really make them weak and docile, that they have to manipulate these disgusting stories of them getting bullied like that, thrown around. What kind of a silly story is that? Who makes that kind of story up about themselves? It makes them look incredibly weak.
And he's still lying, saying he's going to jail because he's Black. And also, like, with this Russia thing, you know, what do you really think about it? Like, what do you think? Why do you think, you know, Putin is in Russia?
Putin is in Russia, the very same reason why he was in Georgia, the country to Russia's south.
And Crimea, right?
And Crimea, which used to be part of Ukraine. What he did in Georgia in 2008 was approached by NATO for membership into the alliance. Russia found that out, and then Putin recognized 2 breakaway states in Georgia, and then he proceeded to invade, the very same thing he's doing in Ukraine. This only happened because Biden decided to approach Ukraine for NATO membership. He should have stayed out. He should have allowed Russia and Ukraine to solve their own issue together. But because of his interference, we now have to pay the price of higher gas prices coupled with inflation. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's terrible foreign policy from Joe Biden. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, because I remember, you know, not that long ago during Trump's time, proud Eritrean, do you know I was eating what they call dry aged steak?
What is that?
Fuck is that shit?
Exactly. That's some white people stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I was living as a white person. Dry aged steak. You know, I was eating, you know, I was indulged in caviar. This is how white people live. Okay. And you know, like the things that the rappers rap about, you know, I'm already living that lifestyle. I'm the one they're rapping about. Their fantasy.
All right, after that was all right. before you go into your comedian stand up, but this is what I was gonna say.
Hold on, think before you type. What do you mean before you go into your comedian?
No, that
why
was
do
funny.
you always accuse me of these things? Okay, go ahead.
I like to joke with people. This is about also a roasting session, man. You know what I mean? If you say something that might seem odd to me, I'll point that out. You know?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like that. But no, this is what I was saying though, which is when it comes to the whole Russia situation, it actually showed how fiscal and pathetic Joe Biden is, because of, in all honesty, like the fact that Saudi Arabia and these countries will not even take
Venezuela, Iran.
Saudi
Arabia wouldn't even take Biden's call.
Yeah,
do you guys know this?
No, yep. That's what I just told you. Yeah, because they're not even taking his call, which is absolutely pathetic. You know what I mean? I don't even like Trump, I'll be honest with you. But if Trump was president today, these motherfuckers would be picking up the phone way before anything else.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah. So the concept of what do you call that with the Russian hysteria. This is what's happening. We have seen this before, and we are seeing right now.
Think before you type. You gotta change that battery. That smoke alarm is calling on you, bro.
What smoke? But you gotta point it out. What smoke alarm?
Your smoke detector.
Nah,
man, don't give the proud Eritrean something to say about you, man.
You were just saying that about him a few minutes ago. Now you're saying that about me. Like...
No. His is not beeping. Hey, proud Eritrean, is your smoke detector beeping?
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's think before you type.
No,
the conservative one, we have him back. Let's hear him. Say something. Let's hear you.
Hey.
All right, much better.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. Much better.
Yeah,
so guys, do you have any questions for him? We have 10 minutes to go.
I have a question for him.
Go.
And this is a really important for me, and I want him to really make me understand this. So for me, when I say when it comes to the election, you know, the results. And I'm pretty sure you believe that he won, right?
Who?
Trump won. Do you believe that Trump won or he lost?
Wait a minute, hold on. Who's speaking?
Think before you type.
Think. Okay.
No, but
Oh,
I just
yeah,
have a question for you. Do you think
for,
Trump won the last election or he lost?
yeah. I'm sorry. Wait.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No. It's a question for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Trump definitely won the last election. That's for sure.
All right.
You know, the whole massive um mail ballot fraud. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
that's you know that's definitely what came into
Ballot
effect, and that's
harvesting. You know, you have the, you know, Zuckerberg, you know, dollars in Milwaukee, you know, like all that stuff is coming out in Arizona, you know, like all the forensic audits. Like you gotta keep up with these things, you know what I'm
No, I'm
saying?
aware of it, but
Yeah.
this is my
Yeah,
question.
and also if you look at
Why
if
I
you
think
look
he
at
lost. You want me to tell you why I think he lost? You know, and for me, I wasn't even paying attention to the media or none of that stuff. I just looked at what Trump said when he first got elected and what he said as soon as he got out of, like, you know, out of the White House. You know, because he said, you know, he won you know, he won by millions. But have you, you know, for me, the key turning point is that the first thing Trump did when he, you know, got elected and won the election,
so do you
he
think it's
said the
possible to rig the American election? Do you think they were rigged? Is
no, no,
possible?
but no, but this is what I was saying. The reason why I think Trump lost the election is because when he first won the election in 2016, he actually made a big deal about having more people in his inauguration than Obama. When we all seen the picture of the people that attended the
But CNN
inauguration of
is who
him,
showed CNN showed us
no, no,
those
we're talking about
pictures.
no, no, it was the video. Like, you know, it wasn't even like,
I've
you know.
seen it too. I'm just
Wait,
telling you.
do you deny? Do you deny?
Hold on,
Wait, are
hold
you
on,
saying
hold
there's
on. Let's
more people went to the
but
inauguration
honestly,
than
right?
Obama?
Honestly, let's be real, right? This man, his rallies, he is pulling in the high 70,000 people.
That's not the issue, though. The
No,
issue
but
is
but
who had
no,
more
but
people
what
at
I'm
the
saying, no,
inauguration.
but
And Trump
come
said he had
wait,
more people.
wait,
And
but
for me, that
common
was
sense. Hold on, common sense. If 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 like right now, like let's see, what YouTuber can I say who's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and then they do an election between me and this person who's got way more people than me, but I have some levers, I have some powers to control how these votes are counted, and then all of
right.
a sudden I win. You're not going to question that? He's got way more people than me. You know, here's Afridamus. I swooped in and boom. Now all of a sudden I'm more popular than this guy.
so when it comes down to the election vote
What
and
do you
how
say
it,
to that?
all right, so when it comes down to the election vote and how people voted based on their party lines, right? When this occurred in 2020, it was at the height of the pandemic. And you had two political parties. One was for the lockdown and mail-in vote, you know, mail-in votes, you know, ballot votes,
I
and the
think,
other
you know, think
conservatives.
before you type, right? Before
Can
you
I finish
go.
the point?
Wait,
After
I
every time
just
I'm
wanted
about
to
to make
say
a point,
this.
you
I think I'm gonna agree with proud Eritrean. I think you are a Marxist.
wow. See,
Yes.
Afridamus again. I always seriously
Well,
don't.
well, well.
This thing
You.
is
I mean,
delayed.
I'm just
The respect that
the
I
Delayed.
have
way.
for you, you're making it. I swear to
No, the
God, the
way you
respect I have for you.
sound.
I
The
think it's
way you
delayed.
sound.
No, but we have to talk about the logical, and you're not even letting me finish the
Okay,
point.
go
You know,
ahead. Go ahead. Go
it
ahead.
was called the Red Mirage,
Look,
right? It was called the Red Mirage because the political vote landscape, the way they voted was the Democrats were voting through a lot of them, majority of them were voting through mail-in ballots, and the conservatives, you know, didn't care about so much about the pandemic, you know, as many people did, but they actually also voted by going, on the line voting on that day. So when the election started on the second, right? A lot of the Republicans, the people that voted in person were
And
counted first.
how do you
And then the mail in ballot.
how did you know this?
It was called the Red Mirage.
In 2016, for
No, I'm talking
example,
about
right?
2020, the election.
Okay,
No, you
in
asked me two different
2020.
questions.
Okay, let me tell you this. How this is contradictory. In 2020, right? Because in presidential elections every 4 years, if the president that wins, it corresponds with the number of seats that they pick up that year, right? People, when they vote in a presidential election year, they vote on the president and then they go down the list. Like, that's how I vote. It's not different than other people. If you look at the stats. So generally, if the president they choose the president, it would correspond that party. But in 2020, that's not what happened, though.
But there were Republicans who were voted in.
But
right?
that's not what happened. How is because Trump is the reason why this person is winning. If I'm the reason that you're winning, how did you win and I didn't win? You know what I'm saying? People voted for you. Wait a minute. People voted for you because of me. Because of me. They voted for you. How do you win when I'm the reason why you won and then I didn't win? That's questionable.
Again, so
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but honestly, I thought Hillary Clinton and her supporters were absolutely one of the biggest crybabies when they were, couldn't handle the fact that, she lost, and they were crying and all this stuff. And I remember
thank
watching
God.
Fox News. No, I know, but I hate her more than anybody. Seriously, I actually like Trump better than her. Honestly, when compared to her,
I can't tell.
No, I'm saying like I like Trump better than her. Because Hillary Clinton, she was for pro-war.
Think before you type.
But let me finish though.
I would. You know what? I'm not gonna debate you on it. I'm just gonna. But
what I'm saying,
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Hold on. Do you understand? Do you comprehend what I just said? I said Trump was better than, in my perspective, Trump was better than Hillary Clinton. No, but Trump was better than in terms of political aspects.
Come on, how do you justify this? He's got hot sauce. He went to the black church. He satisfied the blacks. He pulled out the hot sauce. How can he be better than Trump?
Do you understand?
Who doesn't want to carry hot sauce?
You actually
Who
think
doesn't
that?
carry hot sauce?
Oh man,
come on, man.
You actually think that I'm saying Hillary Clinton is better than Trump? But I'm actually telling you, Trump was better than Hillary Clinton from my point of view. But what I was saying is that Hillary Clinton was absolutely, and her supporters in 2016 when they lost, they were a bunch of crybabies.
Do you know that Trump?
In 2020, all these
Biden,
excuses
right?
that I'm hearing about Trump losing,
Biden,
I thought that was even more pathetic, to be honest with you, because
So I have a question. Do you honestly believe that 80 million people voted for the great white dope, Joe Biden?
All right, but see, here's the thing. That would be the
equivalent
of me asking you.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Right, but be honest, dude. Do you really believe that 80 million Americans truly voted for a man? For a man
who stayed in his basement, who can barely pull 10 people.
A man that's barely coherent. A man that other people would have to speak for, for him because he's incapable of being able to speak for himself, equivalently. A man that has been in politics for
50 years.
Almost 5 decades and has done absolutely nothing for the American people. Do you really believe that 80 million people voted for this man?
Which I actually think I'm more shocked the fact that Trump lost to this pathetic guy. In all honesty, like
but you didn't answer the question.
Yeah,
though.
no, he did lost to it, and Trump.
So Trump lost. Is that what you're saying?
Did Trump left the White House himself? Did he transfer power to Joe Biden? Yes or no? Because it was
Well,
Trump.
no, well,
No, hold
just
on.
answer. Wait a minute.
Trump answered
But
it
you
for
know,
us.
but hold on.
But let's be
Think
honest.
before
Did
you type.
Trump
Wait,
transfer
think before you
power?
type. Think
Did
before you
Trump
type.
transfer power to Joe
Hold on,
Biden?
hold
Yes
on.
or no?
Think before you type.
It
Let's
wasn't. It's
just
not us saying.
hold
It's not
on.
even me saying. It's Trump saying he lost the
Wait,
election.
Think before you type. Let's keep it 100. America is a big, powerful country. They have nukes. They cannot afford.
Who's more powerful than a
Wait a
president?
minute. America cannot afford to get into squabbles like this. This is why things are slowly marched in America to uncover the truth. Think about over 400 million weapons in America that people have. 400 million. So if you create this type of chaos, okay, I'm talking 400 million weapons. There's only 350 million people in America, but there's over 400 million weapons in people's hands. So yes, this type of things will happen, but you would have to legislate it. You're not gonna attack it and try to put it in people's face, because other people too who have weapons believe what the news is telling them. So that's why you have to slow walk, because you see, lie is fast. When you tell a lie right now before the evening, if you tell it in the morning, by the evening it's gonna reach millions of people. But the truth is slow. And look at Jussie Smollett. Look at Jussie Smollett. He called himself the gay Tupac. He thought he was on top. He thought his lies
but nobody
were going
cares
to
about
hold
him.
up. But look at it, right? Eventually, it came out, and I believe that this election shenanigans, we are going to get the answer. I believe.
So why do you think Trump transfer of
because he did not
power?
transfer. No, he did not. He did not. Did you not see the
So you
inauguration?
notice how the millions of people that support him, most of the people that support him have guns, right? The liberals don't have shit.
No. This is the lie that is being told.
But I'm saying, did he transfer power?
No, wait. If there is over 400 million guns in America, okay, that people have possession of, all those people cannot be Trump supporters. Let's just be logical.
I'm not saying that, but he has a very, very fervent supporters, right?
Dude,
but
no,
why do you think?
Are you saying? Wait a minute.
He left.
Was
he forced, or did he?
No, because again, I just gave you the logic. Why? Because America is not some small little third world country where the people they're like, oh, we disagree with the election, and then they make it a big squabble and go to war over it. In America, that cannot happen because the country will be completely destroyed. So therefore, there has to be some compromises on things like this, because if you look at America, that's how they do things. Things might be wrong.
So
they would allow. Wait a minute. Even because look at how even the FBI, CIA, how they work. You could be selling drugs, money laundering. They know about it. They're collecting evidence for years, to have the benefit of the doubt. And when they lay out the evidence, you have nowhere to escape. That's how they roll. And I guarantee you, I believe this conversation we are having, we're going to sit and see it. Remember about the crack, Nixon's government, how they put crack in the black neighborhood, how they introduced the blacks to crack. Some blacks were smart. They talk about it. People are like, man, you blacks are about conspiracy theories. But today, we know those blacks were not crazy. We realize these blacks were telling the truth the whole time, that it was the government. Yes, I'm not saying it's entirely the government's fault you took the crack, but those people were telling the truth that the government came and introduced crack. into their neighborhood, and we found out the blacks were not lying.
Who's the most powerful person in the world in today's standard?
I don't know.
Is the president?
I don't think any human
No,
is
no,
the
no, no.
most
I'm talking
powerful.
about. No, I'm talking about just the position, right? Is the U.S. president considered the highest like form of like?
That's what they say, but you know.
But do you believe that?
Do I?
Do you believe
No,
that?
I mean, I don't think. No, I don't think in terms of that, because humans are gonna do what they do, right?
Yeah, but you study civics, right? If you say you study government.
Okay. So you're talking about the executive or the executive branch.
That's what I mean by
sure, yeah, the president is at the top.
Yeah, so the president has control of the military, has control of like both domestic and foreign policy, correct?
Right.
So okay, so because I want to make sure we are on the same page, we are we have a criteria to build on. So what I'm saying is that if Trump was in that position of power, right, and he had control of both domestic, foreign, as well as military, why did he allow himself to be forced out of either forced or coerced or whatever term you want to use? Why did he allow that to happen and then say, I was cheated out?
Think before you type.
You understand my question?
Hold on.
But do you understand my question?
Wait a minute.
No, hold on. Do you understand my question?
I got you. What I'm saying is he did. Why do you think they banned him on Twitter and other social media? Because they don't want other people to hear what he has to say. So this is proof to you that just like in Nazi Germany, do you think Hitler was the one in charge of everything? Do you honestly believe this? Henry Ford. Hold on. No, Henry Ford. You remember the inventor Henry Ford?
Of course.
If you read the history, he's guilty of war crimes. He sponsored Hitler. GM.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Hold on. GM. Let me finish. GM sponsored Hitler. They made the engines. They made the machines for him. Okay? George Bush, their grandfather. The senior Bush's father helped Hitler in his banking. Hitler was in the magazine. What is it called? Is it the Source Award? The Man of the Year Award? He got it in the 1930s. Okay? So it's no different. If you look at the election thing they are talking about today, this same powerful corporation, IBM, the technology company,
had a business with Hitler.
IBM was the one that created how to track the numbers. How to track the Jews. They created that.
Are you saying there's a
wait a minute
behind the curtain? Are you saying that?
Hold on.
I want to make sure we get what you're saying.
Let me finish. You look at the 2020 election, same pattern in just like the 40s. Powerful corporations like, you have Facebook pouring in millions of dollars. If you read the rules in Wisconsin, these are illegal. They're not supposed to be doing this. You have companies like Amazon, you have Coca-Cola, all these people coming together, muddying the water. This is why people need to read what happened in Germany in the late 1930s all the way to 1945.
Multinational corporations.
Then you will understand, yes, Hitler might be the front man, but look at who is behind it. It's still the same tactics, the same process. It hasn't changed. But those who don't read, those who don't think about how this is run, how media operates, they are going to buy into it because they think you would see black people complaining to you, like they would hate another black person. Oh, you support Trump is racist. Trump has never wrote one single racist policy. But Biden, what black people consider racist, right? Because they say when you lock black people up, even if they sell crack, that's racist. right?
Okay,
How did you vote? How did you vote for a guy you called racist? How is that possible? Because you don't think for yourself. The media told you what to think about. They told you what you should be offended by. Don't forget, it's two old white men going at it.
Yeah,
So
but
if you are
notice,
going by race, wait a minute. If these people that go by race, what is their excuse? Because okay, you choose your white man, I choose my white man. What makes you think your white man is better than my white man?
you
This
know,
is the white man you want to choose, and I think my white man is better. Why am I a coon because I don't choose your white man who I'm smart enough to understand? Look, the man doesn't think for himself. His agenda, his ideology, it doesn't work for me. The man says to me that, hey, you are limited by your skin color. And I disagree with that. The man said, I can wake up tomorrow and say, I feel like a woman. But the man has a wife, he has a family. You know, like for instance, I see myself as a man. I'm attracted to women. That's what I'm into, you know. So I want the same thing he wants. So, but now you're convincing me, no, you know what, Afridamus, as big as your ass is, you can just wake up tomorrow and wear a dress with all these muscles and say, you know, my name is Bridget.
but what does this have
Today
to
I
do
feel
with
like a Bridget.
Afridamus? What does
So
this have to
now,
do with your election results?
right now, why do you think
But what does that
when
have to do with the election
Biden
results?
came to office right away, I was at the park. I saw this person who was dressed like a woman, said they are a woman. They are as muscular as me, as big as me. Their arms are as big as my arms. And they said they are a woman. I said, what is your name, ma'am? My name is Sonia. I was like, huh. So
But
this
see,
is what
all
is
that trans,
this is
all
what
that
is going
trans
on.
talk.
Hold on. This is
Yeah.
what is going on, right? Okay. But now, one thing is it's okay if those people feel that way, but it's another thing for a president, a person they said they elected, to tell you that for you to reject that, that makes you a bigot, that makes you a racist. Don't you dare question it, because if you do, that makes you a bigot. Okay, first, the gay people say they want to come out of the closet. Great. But now they say we want to create, we came up with critical race theory because, you know, they said they are smarter. We want to tell you how you should think because they said they are not obsessed with their sexuality, right? Imagine I meet somebody, you just meet anybody, and you're like, hey, I am super straight. I'm saying, like, imagine I come on my show. Hi, my name is Afridamus. You know, people, I am super straight. I am into women. That would be very weird.
That's suspicious.
Exactly my point.
Right.
But now you are having people coming to you in real life, having this conversation, and you're like, okay, why are we even talking about this? Like, why are we having this conversation?
Right.
Mind you, I have lived in America at a time when this wasn't a thing. I lived in America at a time when, you guys remember when they used to announce, they talk on the news, they say such and such came out of the closet. You guys remember this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
In,
that's
in
what I'm.
fact, if you go all the way back, Afidamus, in the 50s and 40s and 60s, um, people who were ascribed to be gay and things like that was considered a mental disorder.
Yes, in the
It
Now
DSM,
was.
it's not.
in the
Yes, it was.
DSM,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
DSM
Listen,
five.
DSM.
I'm aware of all of that. In all honesty, I'm a very conservative. In my homeland, in my values, people would get killed. But that's not what I'm talking about here. And the question that I impose to you, Afidamus, is that when you look, for example, here's just the crux of it, right? They say that in every story, there's three sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. So we can have differences of opinions and we can have differences of looking at things, right? But however, the question what I'm really trying to understand, right, is that if Trump won the election and if the presidency is considered the most powerful position here in America, where where he controls both domestic and foreign aspect of the government as well as the military. Why do you think he left, or he did transfer of power to Joe Biden if he thought he lost, he won, Joe Biden lost to him?
But we
So
don't
that is,
know. We don't know if that
I'm just
happened.
saying that
We don't know
that's
for
the question
sure
I'm trying
because
to ask.
hold on, we don't know. Obviously, we didn't see the smooth, transfer
No, but
because
he
you
left.
see,
He's not
hold
president
on,
anymore.
hold on. Let me tell you the way white people operate. White people are not like Africans who respond right away about physical things. Yeah, you can be there as a token, but white people, remember, they have checks and balances. They can put you there, but you're just like a toothless dog. Like, you're not going to be able to do these things that you do. Did the blacks get reparation like Joe Biden promised them? Nobody's even talking about the blacks. The blacks are now begging Africans for reparation. Joe Biden disappointed the blacks so much. Now the blacks want to beg Africans for reparation.
But the
So
question is,
it's
why did
bad.
Trump left?
Wait,
Why do you think Trump left?
hold on, I'm coming there. That's because America, again, is a bigger country. There's a lot more to lose. If he were to try to prove that right away, right, it's going to cause a civil war. And America cannot afford to do that today. So therefore, it's best to just let this go where these unreasonable people are doing this and then expose it. And right now, the exposure is coming out. And
So it
because
was behind the scenes. Is that what you're saying?
yes, behind the
So
scenes.
there's another power structure more powerful than the president.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but see, that's what I wanted to understand.
Yes, that's the truth. Like,
Okay,
yes, Trump
you believe
doesn't.
there is a man behind the curtain, right?
Yes.
So the president is just a manager.
The front man, like
just a
Biden,
manager.
the things
Just a
you hear,
manager. He's
Biden
not the
is
owner.
not even his decisions. The man, I mean, you can tell the lights are on, but nobody's home.
So, but why Trump? For me, it's like if Trump, possesses himself to be very dominant alpha male, why did he allow anyone else, right,
Look,
behind the
20.
curtain?
Look again.
But do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
Have you read The Art of War?
Of course, Sun Tzu.
Appear to be weak when you're stronger.
But
Okay.
he had the most powerful position at the time.
Again, appear to be weak when you're stronger. March your enemy to the slaughterhouse slowly, no matter what. It doesn't matter. People can say what they want. They can think you're weak, but march your enemy to the slaughterhouse slowly. Don't let your ego ruin it. Wars, I mean, you can win the war, but you didn't win the battle. And if you don't win the battle, it's not over. Okay?
Right.
It's not over.
So
but before we go, we went over the 2 hours. We have the guests here. Do you guys want to ask him your last quick question, before I let him give the, last answers? And a proud Eritrean, what do you want to say about Jussie Smollett and the fake racism and Russia before you leave?
Before I ask my question and leave, I want to say, like, people think before you type want to turn America into a gunless, defenseless country like the UK, where his cousin Mo Solomon lives. He wants us to be vulnerable to knife attacks and acid attacks by Somalis.
You get too emotional, bro.
Look, one of the reasons I came here is for the guns. I want to own the guns.
Of course.
So when people say they don't want these guns, you are literally against me. But go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. If you take the guns away, the bad guys are going to get it.
Yeah, it's like I might as well just leave if I cannot own the gun.
We didn't even talk about. I never even mentioned about guns.
No, but let him talk.
I want some hoodlum to have a gun and me to have a baseball bat in my own home. I'm screwed. But my question is, like, the thing about reparations too. You said, Afrodamus, Black Americans already got reparations.
Yes,
so much reparations.
They got Section 8. Exactly, Section 8 housing.
Welfare,
food stamps. They are never going to starve. There's never going to be a day where Black Americans starve in this country. But the African lion in Africa is starving, barely has nothing. But he comes here and he makes it. He starts from nothing. And that's the thing. In Black America, you have people that think they are too cool to work an ordinary job. They're called boosters. You know what a booster is?
Booster seats.
Boosters.
You know, the ticket salesman and all that. Yeah.
The guys that make
or when you go to Vegas, the ones that give you the give you the direction where the strippers are at. Not that I'm into strippers. I know some are gonna be like, I hope Afridamus don't go to Vegas and trick all the super chat money. That's for my shea butter account. But keep going.
Yeah, but they make a living off of stealing. That's what a booster is. They steal from people from a living because they think they're too cool to work security or taxi, Uber. Many Black Americans in this channel make fun of Afro-dominant.
Yes, I've seen it. They accuse me of being an Uber driver, and I'm like, what if I were?
So what? He's making money, right? So my question is, it's undisputable. Black Americans have been going in a downward trajectory for many decades. Immediately after slavery, they owned more land than they do today. What is the solution for Black Americans to get back to what they once were? They were really great.
Black Americans need to start returning to God as opposed of listening and returning to another man, because another man cannot lead you. Once they're able to do that, you know what I mean, then that's when Black Americans can get back to the way that they were. The problem is they're listening to the very people that are leading them to the ditch. The Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, and those are the old school people. Now you have people like Ben Crump coming in and telling the Blacks that they are oppressed and that and that this system is set up to keep them down. And these are the very people that are doing very well, and they live in predominantly white neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So the Blacks need to come back to God. They need to get back to what was working for them, which is to focus on being right and being good people as opposed to being black. The Blacks are too much into their blackness and they're not into doing the right things.
What do you mean by that? Expand on that. Too much into their blackness.
Well, you hear it all the time. You hear black people saying Black Power and Black Lives Matter and they claim that's the most important thing to them. But and anytime that there's an issue where they claim that that a white person called them the N-word. You know what I mean? They like they'll make noise about that because in their mind they believe that white people are superior to them. But if they want to, but if you have real issues that occur such as black on black murder, the Blacks won't speak out on that. You notice that whenever Black Lives Matter come out,
total hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's total hypocrisy. Whenever Black Lives Matter come out and they're always complaining about white people doing something to them. They'll whether it be white people coming out. I mean, whether it's a white officer that happened to kill a black person, even though they were justified in doing that, because they felt that a white cop killed a black police officer, they need to come out and protest about that. But whenever you hear black people killing another black person,
over some
in a senseless matter, not one
single
person.
Over some you mean over some Air Force Ones,
Popeye's chicken sandwich,
over chicken sandwich. People, you think I'm joking? There's a video like Popeye chicken. I have the video. I've done the show about this sandwich. I'm not just making this up. Or over someone's chain.
or even over a woman that doesn't belong to neither person.
Yeah, some woman with 7 kids already,
Right.
and she has tattoo on her chest and her arm. This woman, you know, I mean, she's got like bits, you know, felony bits. Not all, not all.
The conservative, you brought up an interesting point. Initially, you know, which I always believed in, which is like people that don't have, they have lack of faith in the creator, they're doomed to fail, you know, automatically.
And think before you type, you know, like, so, you know, you see the conservative one has laid it out here. And yesterday, the proud Eritrean, he gave a warning, and I hope you learn. He said, you guys, Somalis are trying to take this new position to become,
again, you say
the new blacks.
Again, you remember how you are a host.
I mean, not all. Let me clarify. Hold on. Not all. Wait. Hold on. Not all. Wait. Let me clarify it. I forgot.
This is like,
Hold on. Not all. But most.
It's the ones that did. No, don't even say most. It's because the ones who, you know, who engages in that are 100% wrong for doing so. And he even himself said it right now when Proud Eritrean was clarifying in the beginning. So, but this
are you guys the new blacks?
See, again, Afridamus, you're trying to be a troll right now with this, you know.
Why do you?
I can see through you, man, because the questions you ask,
think
right?
Before you type. Wait, think before you type. Let me tell you. Hold on. Think before you type. Please, sir. I'm sitting over here in my, you know, I'm wearing my Sunday suit. Because you see, back in the days, this is what used to happen.
That's it.
The blacks would go to church, leave, go to, you know, Big Mama's house, you know, get the good word going. So I want to remind them of those days. That's why.
You know what I thought when I first came here and I saw you wearing that suit. I was like, did Afridamus just came from Jussie Smollett, you know, defense lawyer? Like, I was like, Afridamus, all this time you've been telling us like, oh man, these guys, I'm against this, and here you are. Like, if I ever see you in the background picture of Jussie Smollett, you wearing that fist, you know,
like
we're gonna have a talk, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So, but the point I'm trying to make seriously, Somalis are, you guys know that Somalis are very conservative people, and to the point where in back home, if anybody try to come out with the alphabet, you know, letters, it's a death sentence, you know. But for me, what I really do like is that, you know, I can have a disagreement with anybody else, but at the end of the day, if somebody gives me their opinion, I would love it to be based on facts. Because, you know, honestly, for me, it's like I only care about, you know, when somebody says, just give me the evidence, and then if it's right, I'll accept it. If it's not, I'll ask more questions or I'll research it on my end. So of all the discussions that we were having right now, the brother, the conservative, you know, I know he talked about a lot of things, but one of the main points that I've seen, because I do, you know, for us, Islam is, you know, a pinnacle for us. So I've noticed here living in America, of all the people that I came across, anybody, white, black, it doesn't matter. When I've noticed these people that they say like, oh, I'm feeling depression, oh, I have this, or I have that. And when I look at their lifestyle, anxiety and all this nonsense, when I look at them, like, yo, what, like, and I look at what their values are and their principle, they have no faith. You know what I mean? And for me, one thing I realized is that people that don't believe in God, they end up feeling depressed. You know what I mean? Because they don't have a compass, suicidal and all this stuff, and they can fall
lonely,
easily, and they become
lonely.
And they become
so lonely. I have nobody all night long.
And that's the way. And that's the way
you just made my ears bleed, man. You know.
and that's
do me a favor and do us a favor. We don't want to ever hear you sing. you might have a, you know, but have you ever recorded yourself trying to sing or nothing? You know,
well,
you'd be like, what the hell?
You hear my songs all the time. You don't even know it's me, but okay.
Right now, I probably think like you're like part of the Jackson 5 wearing the suit, trying to do a spit. but
you know, we're getting, you know, too much into the time. I have conservative. The conservative almost is over the time. So we're about to wrap it up here, but proud Eritrean, finish up real quick, and then
All right.
we'll think before you type, and then we are.
Yeah. So just to close, I have one more question for the conservative.
Okay.
How do you take back your culture? Because if you look at it, the people that represent you are not even your politicians. Your politicians, they're like white people. They just come in, they get your vote, and they live in like a different state. The real representatives in the Black American community are the celebrities, like the rappers, these hoodlums who keep perpetuating Tariq Nasheed, that keep perpetuating very dangerous concepts like drug abuse, that hatred towards women. They call their women bitches. I know this is a family show.
Bitches and hoes.
Bitches, hoes, and all that stuff. So,
I ain't got I got 99 problem, but bitches and wine.
Yeah,
that's right.
There goes the family show.
And so,
look, guys, it's a family show. Please make sure you clean up the language. But keep
so in China, if you look at their social system, I know people like to hate on China, but they clamp down on their celebrities. They made engineering the trend in China by clamping down on.
But proud Eritrean. I never understood. Right? Come in here, right? Look, this is gonna sound too weird. Like I'm literally I would be considered a celebrity. I used to play soccer. I was good. I was good at many things. But to me, it's just a skill. Like I'm known for these things. But I never thought that should give me leverage over other people. I just know I do these things and I move on. In America, I show up, they are worshiping these people just because they are famous. I'm like, what is wrong with these people?
The thing is that that's the reason why I go back to doing the right things according to value. We know that America was founded by Judeo straight Christian white men, and if people were to live their lives that way, go out, get married before you have children, you know what I mean, and be able to raise your family and to work as many jobs as you can to support yourself. Then the blacks wouldn't be having as many problems as they're having. They wouldn't be influenced by people like Tariq Nasheed and all of these other race hustlers and race pimps that are practically exploiting their their emotions, you know what I mean, in the in exchange for monetary value. Because what the blacks don't even realize that they're being used, they're being used for destruction. You know what I mean? So it takes people doing the right thing, and then it takes the government to have like honestly, I don't believe in expansion of government. I don't believe in too much government involvement. But when it comes to um um policy, when it comes to making policies, to for for the proper, for structure and for behavior, you know what I mean, for to keep Americans, to keep Americans right, you know what I mean, and to have Americans, doing the right thing. Those are the type of people that we need to have, and we really need to vote out all of these other people that are into anything else other than what the Constitution stands for. If the founding fathers were alive today, honestly, they would want to be dead 6 7 times over. I mean, they're practically rolling in their graves if they were to see the way the country is today. Because
what if the people that said some of the founding fathers of America owned slaves, like the blacks sold other blacks to the Arabs, and the Arabs sold other blacks to the white people? So what do you say to people that they say, okay, I can believe you conservative ones supporting a group of people that enslaved people that looked like you?
Again, it's something that was there. Now, slavery, honestly, it's a subjective matter. Whether you supported it or not, it is what it is. It happened, and granted, it wasn't just white people that owned slaves. All people owned slaves.
That's right,
including former black slaves. And so it was a thing
That's
where
true.
if you had the means, you could be able to own a slave. Anthony
So
Johnson was
no,
one of
so,
oh
yeah, so no need to
yeah,
try
right,
to
right. So right,
revisit that. Okay.
right. So yeah, in other words, that there's no need to revisit it, and it's something that happened oh so long ago. I mean, slavery ended in 1865. Why are we this is 2024.
2022.
We live in a country today where we're free to do what we want and as we please. But right now, it's the progressives that are trying to take away the very rights, you know what I mean, that made America great. And if we continue to allow them, if we continue to feed into their narrative, then all of our rights will be taken away. We won't own anything, just like they said, and we will be
We'll
happy.
be
But
happy eating
you know what I mean?
bugs and stuff. But
Excellent.
you
Well,
know, guess
I agree with everything.
Thank you.
You have a YouTube channel?
That's
yes.
I do, I
Go ahead.
do, I do.
Tell them your YouTube channel before.
Yes.
You also
So
have talks like this, right?
me, oh well. This absolutely, and I mean, this was the first time that I was on,
Oh,
that I was
okay.
on someone else's platform speaking on, and I appreciate Afrodamus for extending
And
that
the
invitation
conservative
to me.
one, you should come
Mhm.
here often because
Please.
Absolutely. Okay.
obviously, as you can see,
Yeah.
think before you type. I like giving him a hard time, but
Nah,
he's
I'm
he
giving you a hard
enjoys.
time, but I no,
he,
seriously,
he
the brother.
he's got
Listen,
a
the
lot.
brother
He's
was.
got a lot of he's good sport. Proud
Mhm.
Eritrean. Same thing. A lot of people that come
We
here,
can
they
crack
are
jokes
really,
and
yeah, they are
have,
really
yeah.
interested in the conversations, like,
Nice.
for sure. So
Okay.
that's why I like it when they come on to add their 2 cents on whatever
Because in all
topics we
honesty, if
have.
we all were over here and we all agree to each other, it would be an
Right.
echo chamber. I
Right.
get bored if I'm around people that I agree with. I'll be
Oh
honest
no,
with
I,
you.
I like that
I go out.
you're against it.
Yeah, but it's not for me. Even for me, if I'm against something, I try to make it based on logic or reason or evidence. And then I would like to see how the way they answer the question or the evidence they give me, I'll go on from that. So I've always been, from my end. But this is a really amazing discussion. And yeah, the conservative brother, do you also have discussions like this where people call in, or is it just this your first time doing so?
Well, so this is my first time getting on getting on another person's platform and speaking on this. I mean, I'm thinking about having my own um uh broadcast, but um you know I can come on. I mean, I can come on at any time if Aphrodamus wants me on. I'll come on and I'll gladly have a discussion. But if you want to check out my channel, uh, I go by the conservative. You can actually type into the search engine. Here's how I freed them, and that will send you to a direct.
Actually, the link is
Oh,
in the chat here, people.
okay.
You can,
Oh,
the
the link. All
moderator
right.
just shared it. Think before you type. You should go check out his channel,
No, I'm
guys. Check
actually
it out.
looking at it
Yeah.
right now as we
He's
seriously
the
because
black. I call him the black. I call him the black expat, not expat, expat,
that's
because
fat.
he would tell you, what he knows about the blacks. And I was hoping that, a black person would call in. I know some are going to be like, Afridamus, I can't believe you say the blacks. We know what we mean. Some of you, we heard you say the Africans. So it's nothing offensive. It's just,
Right.
like you say, you are FBA. So the conservative, what
Yes.
are you? So you are not FBA, the made up,
Hell no,
group
that's not
that
even.
Tariq came up with. What do you think about that made up group?
The FBA. Can you
Well,
can
they
you
are the
refresh my memory
foundation.
on?
They are the
Okay.
foundational
The
Black
acronym, yeah.
Americans, and
Okay.
they were here. They built America, and then they
Amazing.
opened the door to, you know, um, you
Don't
know,
forget they're also part of Native Americans.
yeah, they're part Native American. So they
Oh,
built the
nice.
country, and then
That's what they're claiming.
they let black people in. So other black immigrants, and now black immigrants are turning their backs on them. So
Oh,
um,
nice. Yeah. I find that amazing. But we're any. I mean, like, if I ever had to ask Tariq Nasheed a question, I would ask him. Were you ever born in Africa? Do you have any African relatives? Or are you
Well, he
willing
used to
to?
be African, but now they're originally from America. They are not from Africa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But didn't he didn't he I think I remember watching uh an episode on your channel where he actually was insulting one of the
Yeah, he always
African ladies.
well, that's the
That's what he
thing.
always does.
Yeah,
Right,
that's what
right,
he
right.
always does. In
Okay.
But
in fact, I have a video
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to do to show you guys again. Tariq talking to White Daddy, a white man killed the reparation dream. Africans need to hear these conversations. How you know who is truly the builder and the owner of America? Because you guys are not hearing this. So this is where I come into play. It's nothing against the blacks. As you can see, the conservative one here. The conservative one, he is a true American, but he's black. His parents immigrated here, but he sees himself as an American because that's what the Constitution says. So for someone to come and say, "No, you are not American," they are delusional. You think
you
this
actually,
man? You think this man is worried about Boko Haram? He is in this different territory than Boko Haram. That's
so
100.
all. And I'm not saying all
he-
Nigerians have to worry about that because I
yeah.
don't want you guys sending me emails. Afridamus, how can you say that?
So here's a great question that I thought of, but it's like two, right? One, what do you think about these FBA, and they're always claiming either to be Native Americans or what do you call them, the Moors or ancient Egyptians or Hebrew Israelites. So what do
Well,
you think
well,
about
well,
that? And the second question is,
okay.
why is it what do you call here in America, why is it that a lot of some of the people, they're not giving themselves the title of American, but they're always like something else attached to it, either African American or what I mean, Hispanic American or whatever it is. But when you think of the word American, you think of sometimes like the way they portray it is by saying that it's just a white European uh guy or woman. So just that two parts question.
Yeah. So I mean, the people that are calling themselves what are the FBAs
Yeah,
and
foundational Black
right. So
American.
I
No, I
put
know. It's like Tariq is working hard to try to popularize it, but
right.
I get it that you're not even aware of it. I'm not surprised.
No,
But
I'm
but
not.
since me being the African Black correspondent and the European Black correspondent to bring the knowledge to the Africans and people other places, since I'm an expert in Black history and interacting with Blacks, so it's easier for me to talk about this and understand what FBA, ADOS, all those
Okay.
acronyms stand for.
What isn't ADOS the African
ADOS was the original
or
one, and
a- a-
then
African
Tariq,
descendants of slavery?
American. No, no, they said they are not from Africa.
Okay.
American descendants
Oh,
of
an American
slavery.
descendants of slavery.
And then Tariq came and he pretended to join them, and he came up with FBA, Foundational Black American, and obviously they
Well,
joined it. They
yeah,
joined him. So
okay. I find it funny that that these people are coming up with all of these identities and all these acronyms to try to disassociate themselves from America, but yet they're not willing to pack up and leave America. I mean, if
well, they're spotting the American flag as their flag, the color.
oh,
So obvious.
okay.
I mean, because
Oh, so
the
back
white
so
man. No, the white. Let's make sure we tell the story the right way. The white man stole the flag idea from them. It was a black person that came up with those colors. I want you guys to
oh,
get this
amazing.
right.
Okay.
Um, and it was black people that built America. So you guys need to please control your hatred of black people. You need to stop your hatred. Okay. So I don't know what history you guys are reading, but Tariq came up with hidden colors. Um,
Part one,
yeah,
part two,
part
part
one,
three.
part two.
Oh wow! So
it
must have done very very well for him.
1804. All
That
them.
was at the time when he was pandering to others. That's when he believed he was an African, but I guess he didn't get much money. You know what I mean? So he
Oh,
pivot
okay.
to another direction. He went left, and he thought, you know what? Instead of trying to unite people in common factors, let me try to, unite people with hatred amongst his own, like with the few people that are, that are not well versed in, like political topics and things like that. But even like you said, Afrika, is that the fact that you said these people, these guys built the country and all this stuff. How come they're called African American? How come they're not being called American simply?
Well, they were tricked into it. These people, it's like, you have to understand, the white man got, they use white tactics, white boy
Yeah.
tactics. They come, they start talking all nice. Hello, buddy. Would you like to be called African American today? Yes, sir, massa.
You know,
Eyes is African American from now on. But proud Eritrean, what do you want to say
So
before your last one? So before I
okay.
let you go and bring in King Mayo. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so just some words of advice for Black Americans out there. Stop sagging your pants. It's not cool. It's not cool showing your butt, walking around. And you, Aphrodamus, you have history, right? You worked in law enforcement, right? You
I
said that.
did. That's right.
So you know it
Oh,
originated.
that's a write up.
Oh, it
If
it's a
you
originated in
write-up.
when
prison.
that was a write up. When I worked in the prison, you sag your pants. I'm like, man, pull up your pants. And you have to. If you don't, that's we call it infraction. You know how
So hold
like
on.
you
It,
running
it,
over the speed limit. So in
Yeah.
prison, you still get infractions like sagging, going out of bounds, because like you can create your. They have like yellow boundaries. They wrote out of bounds. So
Mhm.
yeah, most of the blacks in prison actually do dress nice. They tuck their
Okay.
shirt in, no sagging. They are good in there.
Okay, but the saggy pants originated in the American prison system. It was a way for fellow Black Americans to show that they are okay with taking it up the butt,
That's
right?
right.
Very
It's
easy.
absolutely.
advertisement. Do you guys remember
that's what
what's
I
his
heard.
name? Phyllis Johnson. He
No.
said, "I like you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way."
Is that
Yeah, Boondocks.
isn't that
That's
The
no
boondock. Yeah,
the Boondock?
we can
yeah,
do
but
this
it's
the
but
easy
it's
way
based
or
on
the
real.
hard way.
It's based on real character. Yeah.
Yes, it is based on real character on
Oh,
MSNBC. You guys remember
But
the Lock Up, the show Lock Up?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
show Lockup. Yeah.
mhm.
yeah.
When he was
Like
saying it's
I
more
used
important
to,
than water, like
right? When I worked in the prison, I would be because we'd call it tier checks. We have to go make sure people are not killing themselves or somebody raping someone, all kind of stuff. So I'll be walking by, inmates have, they have TV there. And I would see people watching lockup. I'm like, you are already here. What's there to watch? Like you should have watched this before you came, you know. But yeah, but lockup was a big show on the weekend on Saturday because I used to work Saturdays, But as far as the sagging, yes, in prison, you cannot sag. You can't be advertising to everybody because we would write you up.
Hmm.
That's right.
So they're
And
only able to sag outside of the prison.
Outside of prison.
So
It's
to
not a
these
thing
Black
in there.
Americans,
It's not a thing in there.
right? Okay, so to these Black Americans, that's my word of advice. Stop sagging your pants. It's not cool. It's very gay, actually, because it has a gay origin. So be
100%.
classy, be cool like the conservative, have your head screwed on correctly, and that's all you need. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Think
Thank you.
before you type quickly before I let you go. And what do you want to say?
all right, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I've heard that terminology before. No, overall, this was really very insightful show. I actually did enjoy um, from the perspective of the brother, the conservative.
The
You know what I mean?
I
conservative. Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
No, seriously, because I give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? If I, and plus, I'm pretty sure like if I'll probably like respond to some of your videos, and you'll know what what my critiques are. You know what I mean? But it's
Okay.
always about mutual respect. You know what I mean? Something you understand and something you try to have grasp on, like try to fully understand how other people come across. Because we all have different paths in life, right? So the road you took is different from other people. So, but anyways, what I was gonna say is that Afidamas actually, yesterday and today, in all honesty, you inspire me in one thing. Usually, I work a lot. I do have a business as well, but I work a lot.
Yeah.
And when I did came to your show, first time I came in, I think it was like a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
and really enjoyed it. Different perspective, different things. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I hope you guys enjoyed my end as
Oh
well.
no, I do. I do. Yeah.
I give you guys from my perspective. But what you really, from this perspective, is kind of like and I had this mindset, and we always discuss about this, but it's something that, and you could tell it's a Somali mentality as well,
Yeah.
was that if I see something that sometimes I'm probably like, there's a miscommunication or, or whatever it is, I'm like, you know what, if you can't um, get the points across, change the narrative.
No,
So
I
in a,
like
in
that
a
I like that you are outspoken and you ask
yeah, and
questions.
it's a
You want to clear things,
yeah.
So that's good.
I always, honestly, like I just don't like shouting over things. I just like to get points across so we can understand each other. And even if somebody, I don't care what point, even if they disagree with me, as long as we understand from different perspective, that's 100% on my end. But what I was gonna say is that because of the situation, you actually kind of instilled in me that hey, I'm gonna actually try to produce a show on my end as well, and I will,
Yeah.
when I get a chance, because just like how notice how we in this show, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of shows that we do, is that we always try to tell the FBAs that come here and now watch, stop complaining about what the white man is doing this and all this stuff. You can talk about the critiques, right? But don't
Right.
complain about if you don't like something, change the narrative.
Right.
Like, so for me, just being here, I really enjoyed it over here. It's been amazing. But I
Right.
also, for me, is that I'm
Oh,
like, you know what?
and plus,
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
bro.
I
Yeah.
don't want to interrupt over you, but also, I find it's abnormal for you to believe that one man or that a race is superior over you, especially when we live in a country where everybody is free, where everyone is free to be or do whatever they want to do at any time.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm
somebody
sorry.
wants to know. Sonia Cotton said, "What is FBA?" FBA means Free
Uh,
Black Americans. But go ahead.
don't 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 confuse some of these people who probably new today. You know what I mean? We gotta correct that. All right. So for those who are listening, Afidamas, is trolling you guys, and I'm pretty sure if you were listening, you would have known that Afidamas told you guys what FBA is, which is it's an acronym that says Foundational Black American. You know, but yeah. So, but just to get back to the point,
Mhm.
like like the people who are watching this, and sometimes they might disagree with you, you know what I mean, or disagree with certain aspect. And for me, in all honesty, it's like sometimes I don't like to like wait for turns. You know what I mean? Like if I want to have other things that I want to say, like when it comes to shows and participation in certain situations, I like to have a point across. But you, Afridamus, you've always given me a great opportunity, a great chance. I'll never forget that. But at the same time, for me, I realized that I will also like to, continue forward, have a show,
I think
have
you should.
amazing things,
I think you
and
should.
we can have a like so people can see from different perspective. And I
Right.
really, really enjoy this show. But I've, like I said, the mentality that we have compared to the FBAs, I don't complain about certain things. I give credit where credit is due. But then if I want to do something, I change the narrative. And I, you know what? I'm like, you know what? There's things that I have to say, and sometimes we have so many guests here, so many people participating. I might not get things, across.
Well, it's cool. Think before you type. I'm actually really happy to hear this because
Appreciate that, man.
that's the whole thing, to change the narrative. We have to participate in and take part in it. So I'm glad to hear you, wanting to do that. And when you set it up, let me know. Come on here so we advertise it so people can see it.
I really appreciate that. So if you might not, because like I said, I have a couple of things that I work with. There's a side business that I always do and work. But if you don't see me the next couple of weeks or so, just so know that I'm working on that. But overall, I really enjoy the show, man. And to
Sounds
the
good,
brother,
man. I
the
look
conservative,
forward to it.
I appreciate it, man. And to the brother, the conservative,
Yeah.
I will be checking out your videos, your channel. And just off the top, what is it called? Off the top, just so
Well,
other people can hear it too, like your show.
my show.
Yeah, what is it
Your
called?
channel, the conservative, like it's right there.
Yeah, it's the conservative.
All right, yeah. I wanted to make you say that so people are also aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Think
The conservative.
Think before you type. How did you like my my Catholic prayer?
Your suit?
No, my Catholic prayer in the beginning. Cook
Oh,
some,
actually,
fry
I came
some,
a little
and
bit
cook
after.
some in the fridge.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Man. Well, make sure
Nah,
you
I'm
make sure
gonna
you
actually
watch
go
the
back in the
beginning.
beginning. I came a little bit late. It's Sunday. I was
Okay,
working
check
on
out the
people.
beginning. But thank
Yeah,
you for coming. Let's
yeah.
allow the Mayor King, and
Thanks,
you're
guys.
always welcome here. Thank you.
All right.
Mayor King, what do you want to say to the conservative one or add on to this before we close out?
I'd like to say hello to the conservative one or the conservative, and hello
How
to
you doing,
you.
sir?
How you doing? Hello to
Right.
you, Aphrodamus.
Thank you very hello to you, the Mayor King.
King Mail,
King Mayor. King
Email.
Mayor.
short for mayonnaise.
Sure, yes, I know. I love mayonnaise. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, Aphrodamus, you got to stop. We got to help the FBA. We got to help EDOS. We just got to help them.
Yeah.
And
Do
just
tell.
okay. So the best way to help them right now, you have to agree. FBA created Tariq Nasheed.
Right.
FBA created the mailbox. FBA created the staircase. FBA created the USSR. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
The FBA created your suit. The FBA
Yes.
created the F6.
My Sunday. You mean my Sunday suit?
I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday,
Yes.
but
Today's Sunday. Yes.
Okay, they created the F-16 fighter jet. Okay, in order for the F-16 to be created, it was created in Israel, which were created by the Jews. So in order for that to happen, the FBA created
You
the
mean
Jews.
the black Jews?
I don't know, but they created the Jews in Israel to create the F-16 to make its way to America to fight all over the world. So what I'm saying is they created everything. So let's just agree to agree and stop hating. Let's just
Oh
we
man.
would all get along much better if we just agree with
Wait,
everything
where
they
will
say.
my show be if I'm not hating?
Ain't that what it is? It's just a show.
Conservative,
just
what do
a
you
show.
want?
Wait,
What
wait.
do you want to say to that?
No, wait. What, Kimeo, are you trolling right now, or are you?
If
are
I
you
was
serious?
troll, I would be King Troll right now. I'd be with my avatar would look like a troll and it would say King Troll.
Oh, okay.
I just want there to be peace, and so the best way to make peace is just let them have whatever they want, and we go about our business, and we just leave them out of our business,
And did
and
they
they'll
create?
be okay with it.
Mayonnaise? Mayonnaise too?
They created mayonnaise.
Okay.
They created everything.
Amazing. But
Whatever came out, whatever came out of the brightness into the
Right.
darkness, whatever came out of the darkness into the brightness, they created it all.
The only thing I want to add to that is, I just wish that the blacks would be more appreciative of being Americans, rather than focusing on who did what, and who created what, and who did this and who did that. In the end, more patriotism towards the very country that they would never, that they're not looking to leave at
But
any
someone
time
moved into
would
Africa,
be
though. Repatriation,
They
Marcus
create that
Garvey,
they
Pan
created
Africanism. They
they
said they are
created
moving.
Africa.
What do you say?
They created Africa.
okay. You know, then if that's
Oh,
the
okay,
if
you
that's
was a
the
little
case, then
you
they could.
the conservative. You was a little confused when you said okay. So you understand the whole conversation makes no sense. The whole conversation from their side really makes no sense. So basically, I'm coming on here to not really make fun of anybody, but I'm not making any sense, am I?
No,
Okay.
no,
So
no,
that's
not at all.
basically when we listen to FBA ADOS types and other types like them that are not black, because every society has some type of FBA in their society, right? People who are
Yeah.
not don't patronize the country and don't believe in the values of their country,
Right,
where they're from, stuff like that.
right,
Every
right.
country has them,
Yeah,
right?
but
That's
that's
true.
true. That's
Okay.
true.
And then we also have some larger than others in every country. They think that their people, their skin hue, whatever, created everything in the world. That everybody comes from them. In China, they think the world came from China.
That's yeah. I
Well,
mean, yeah.
you know,
It's just crazy. I hope these conversations would help enlighten people to really um, start seeing the truth instead of illusion.
Right.
And
So with your original point, before I interrupted you at the end there, the conservative, go ahead and make it,
mhm.
because I definitely I've seen you in the past very little, but I recognized you when he brought you on. So
Oh,
how do you?
nice.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, yeah. So the whole point that I'm trying to make is it seems as if the blacks seem to care more about who did this and who did that first, as opposed to just focusing on being great people and appreciating this country, the country that gave them the very rights that they have today. So they focus on that, then they will become better people.
well,
And
thank you for that. And we are about at the closing end. King Mayo, do you have quick contribution here before we go towards the end of the show and allow the conservative to do his closing before I leave?
yeah, just keep the conversation going. I'm out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. And conservative one, thank you for coming in and tell the people where to find you and your last words before we close out here.
Yeah, so you can check, yeah, so you can check out my YouTube channel, the conservative. Um and as a matter of fact, you can also you can type in here's how I freedom into the search engine title. I mean into the search engine, this, and then that would lead you to the very video, and then I'll also be able to link you into the channel. Then you can check out the many videos that I have. I even had the conservative point of view Black History Month, because I don't believe that a lot of blacks are or enlightened on true, on true Black history. So um
Well, I mean, they're getting good Black history over here because over here, they're
oh,
getting it
and also right,
from
and
the
also
experts, from the
yeah, also
experts.
from the experts, yes, and
Hmm.
from the experts,
Hmm.
yes, from you. I mean, definitely from you. The one thing that I like, one thing I like about your channel is that you're able to enlighten people from what's really happening here, and what's happening in Africa,
In Africa.
because the
Thank you.
same thing is happening all along. And if people really want to understand too about the Russia Ukraine situation going on, they should also type in why Ukraine was the West's fault, and that'll give you a much more insight, a lot more insight than what the mainstream media is telling you right now.
Guys, that's the conservative one. You guys heard him.
Mhm.
He's got great points of views, and I really appreciate him coming through. And you're always welcome here. We would set up another one and you know, I really enjoyed this conversation, and
Amazing.
have a wonderful evening. And I hope did you like my you know, when I was in Catholic school, the prayer
Okay.
that I gave?
Nice. Yes.
Did you like the prayer?
Absolutely. I mean, coming now, obviously, you know, being raised in a Catholic church, that was, you know, that was the main prayer.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Amazing. Same to you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
thank
Peace.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right. Take
All
care.
right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the conservative one. That brings us to the end of the Afridamus report. I hope you've learned something. You know, you learned it here, where it's proven that Jussie Smollett, or Smouillet for those of you that say it in French, you know. So he's convicted for the race hoax. He said because he's black. The man looks like, you know, I don't know. If I see him, the first thing I would think is not black. But as you guys know, in America, everybody's black. Technically, most people in America they call black. They are just multi-generational mixed race people. They don't want to, for some reason, they don't acknowledge their European side. They only, you know, I'm African, like Colin Kaepernick. We don't know what he is. Remember the guy that said playing in the NFL, playing football is slavery? Well, videos have surfaced. Another race hustler. He wants to go back to being a slave. He put out practice, you know, videos. So it's all these mixed race people deceiving you. They are not even black. I have seen these people. They don't show you people that look like me. So if people like me are not facing this, why is their light-skinned ass facing these things? So whatever is in the darkness shall come to light. For those of you that can see, please make sure you see. Those of you that can hear, make sure you hear. That's what I want to leave you with. Thank you very much. And for those of you that contributed to the super chat, I want to thank all of you for donating to the Afridamus report to make sure that, you know, the shea butter fund, you know, has some funding so that I don't go ashy. I went from ashy to classy. So I want to maintain that. Make sure you contribute. And also looking to build that hospital in Africa, contribute there, okay? Until next time, I will see you again.
Entre más lejos, más feliz. Era un veneno y lo bebí. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Siempre sé la peli esa actriz, pero ya vamos llegando al fin. Yeah, yeah. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Somos felices a distancia. Ya no aguanto tu fragancia. Tú no eres consentida, que la tienes merecida. Yeah, yeah. Cogiste la rosa y escupiste espina. Nunca será Nati ni seré tu tina. Gucci, Dior, baby, te ves fina. Sea falsa hecha en China. De pronto no era tan malo, ni tú tan buena como tú lo creías. En los fines pa' pasar la excusa, para la disco pa' olvidarme de ella, bebé. Solo tú me